Welcome back to the ScreenBlast podcast. It's been a little while since a full-on new recording, but I am your returning host, Bryan the Baltimorean.
No glasses! Ah!
And also, I think you're missing. Good haircut. By the way, you're going to notice on a lot of...
You look stupid! Where's the hair?
How about you lift your fucking hat, you dipshit?
This is... I don't have a hat.
Lift the hat.
I don't have a hat.
Lift the hat.
I don't have a hat.
Do it.
This is my hair. My hair is shaped like this. I'm very sensitive about this condition. I was born like this.
All right, what is it?
And it changes color every episode.
All right, Will Smith's wife, relax. This is the ScreenBlast podcast. Of course, where we talk movies that hit the big screen, things like that, news going on around the industry. Mark, it's been a little while, but today's going to be fun because we have a nice animated movie that finally sort of lights things up. Box office wise, obviously it's been very quiet. Did you see anything? I didn't check anything out before. So, have you seen anything before that you wanted to note before we get into Kung Fu Panda?
This year in general?
Yeah, just like touch on, like, I know you saw a couple of the movies that...
Yes, I saw MeanGirls, the remake.
Was that December or January? You're talking about...
That was January, dude.
Was it?
That was January. They came out in January, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. Came out for the 20th anniversary of MeanGirls. Because, like, that movie was 2004.
Yeah. Never forget.
And I didn't know anything about MeanGirls. I never seen the original movie before, but, like, I was going to the Alamo Drafthouse to watch E.T., and because I bought a ticket, and I found out E.T. was only showing the next day, and I already got to the Alamo Drafthouse, and I was like, fuck, I might as well see something while I'm here.
I'm enjoying something here. I went all this way.
Fuck, I guess I'll go see MeanGirls, and I haven't seen the original MeanGirls before, and I only liked watching remakes when I see the original compared to if the original is an acclaim movie. Because I look at the Rotten Tomatoes score for the remake of MeanGirls, it looks good so far, and like the remake and the Rotten Tomatoes score for the original is better. So it's like, all right, I got an hour and 30 minutes. I can go to Paramount Plus, turn on MeanGirls. I was watching on my phone. I was like walking to McDonald's, eating McDonald's. I was walking back to the theater. I was in the theater watching trailers, and it just finished. Before the movie got on.
Before the pre-show, all that stuff?
Yeah, it finished like around in the middle of the trailers.
I see.
And I was like, okay, I saw the original.
I'm ready to go.
And you know, the original is it's a good movie. It's a fun, coming of age revenge flick.
Gotcha.
And what's surprising about the remake is it's a musical. It's, which the MeanGirls had a Broadway musical. So it's I think it's based off that musical, which I hear the Broadway musical is even longer and it has a lot more songs. Mm-hmm. Like the songs in this musical don't really aren't really super catchy. It's not there's no songs I really I felt like kept on my MP3, but they were pretty decent. They were good for the movie, and it was still a fun movie. Still it does rehash things from the original, but the original's 20 years old anyway, so it's it wasn't too recent, so they can do that. And it's it's a decent movie. It's a fun retelling, and what gives it its own identity from watching the original is that the fact that it is a musical. So I thought okay, that's pretty interesting. You're gonna remake a movie, but remake it in a different. We have to make it different,
in a new structural format.
Yeah,
while keeping
different structure.
The key tendencies around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which still makes it more worth the watch than let's say just making a Lion King movie where it's just CG lions that look realistic instead of doing anything a little bit.
It's still technically a musical, but you cut down some of the songs or extend some of the songs that don't need to be extended.
Yeah.
Be prepared. And it looked like there was a music about to come on, but Star Wars was be prepared. And it's that's it.
That's it.
We're we don't want any Nazi imagery. We're woke Disney now.
But MeanGirls...
Kids have to learn about World War II, you fucking idiots.
Hey. They did it. I'm sorry, it wasn't them. Pinocchio. They got to learn about it in Pinocchio. Not that. And
that movie won fucking awards.
Yeah, won awards.
Fucking pussies.
Yeah. But that reminds me, let's I just want to slide on to, obviously The Boy and the Huron won Best Animated Feature. This is the only thing I was tracking through the whole awards show. I wasn't.
Hey, Oppenheimer won Best Picture.
It won Best Picture. That was not surprising.
That was a good movie. That's earned.
Yeah, I'd say that's earned. Absolutely. I think whether or not we had it in our top 10, I didn't, but you did. Oppenheimer was such a cultural phenomenon because of the Barbenheimer success, and it's also just a very well executed movie by Chris Nolan, without, by the way, having to use explosives all that much. Like, that's the thing that's impressive about it, is it doesn't really dig into it. Like, it doesn't use special effects so significantly that then it relies on them. Like, it stands out because of the acting and the set design and really immersing you in the moment and in the emotion of Oppenheimer himself. So that was well deserved.
Even though it's like a 3-hour non-action movie, it's a movie I can actually rewatch.
I will never rewatch Oppenheimer again. I'm good. If I want to watch it,
I don't need to. But like, if I had to, it was like I wouldn't mind too much.
I feel you. I would if it's a Chris Nolan movie, I'll rather watch. I'd watch Inception. I'd watch Interstellar. I'd watch any of the Dark Knight.
I'm not
movies.
rewatching Tenet.
I don't need. Again, that's another one. I saw it. Don't need it.
That's why, because it's Christopher Nolan. That's why I was specific. That's why I was like,
no.
It's one of his movies I can rewatch.
Yeah.
Even though it's not one of my favorite movies. But like it's just like one of my we already did the top 10. It's not even one of my favorite movies from last year. But like it's a fine like biopic. Not bio.
Oh, well,
is biopic the right word?
Oppenheimer wasn't in your top 10.
It wasn't.
Oh.
It was in yours, wasn't it?
No.
It didn't. It wasn't in mine. You remember, Barbie made it to my top 10, not Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Barbie made it. That's right, Barbie made it. Yeah. Okay.
Not Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I think it was in yours.
I swear I switched it out with something else. No, I was going to switch it out with the Holdovers. I guess I kept it in because I swear to God,
you didn't put no, because like you
Holdovers wasn't there.
Because you talked to me after we recorded. You was like you were mentioned because like I'm the one who mentioned Holdovers, even though it didn't make it in my top 10. It was in honorable mentions. You was like, oh shit, I should have put Holdovers in my top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, like, if I were to have adjusted the top 10, I would have definitely put Holdovers in there, just because it's way too valuable of a movie. I think that's a perfect movie, and I think Oppenheimer, to me, it's a great movie, but it didn't need to be 3 hours. It's a movie that, if you took out...
I know, right?
If you took out that garbage romance bullshit, which, again, I don't need to know that he fucked people. Like, if it was just about Oppenheimer, like, in the history of Oppenheimer, like, that would have been 2 hours, good enough. So.
I mean, you're talking about, like,
But
I'll tell you, 3 hours is my limit. It's like when you go to, even though it's a good movie, when you go to 3.5 hours, fucking goes a Flower Moon, it's like, you can maybe, like, trim it down a bit.
Yeah, like, we talked about...
I enjoy Killers of the Flower Moon a lot, but I was like, they could trim it down just a bit.
Well, this was the issue of Napoleon. I think that was a 2.5. And that one, it's like, again, they did the same thing where it's like, what if we just delved into romance for like half of this? And it's like, dude, I came to see the Napoleon awesomeness. I came to see the fucking, all the kick-ass shit that he does. But instead, they turn it halfway into a romantic thing with a lot of tension and shit like that. So, and that destroys it. But, yeah, I want to jump over now to the animated side, though. We talked about this before. Obviously, the nominees were, if I'm not mistaken, it was obviously The Boy and the Heron, it was Spider-Verse, it was Robot Dreams, it was...
Which doesn't have an American release in that. You can't find it anywhere. I missed it. Went to the Alamo Drafthouse for a week. I missed that fucking week.
Yes. And
I forgot about it. I should have set a reminder or some shit.
But also, there was Elemental and one more movie that I'm not recalling, I believe. But it was a movie where I wish I would have swapped. There's one of those movies I said I would have swapped out TMNT. Nimona, yeah. Nimona. Not pneumonia, Mark.
Nimona.
We're not talking about the disease, the health risk. We're talking about the Netflix animated movie, Nimona. Yeah. So, out of those 5, of course, I think we both had come to the conclusion that of the 5, obviously, Boy and the Heron and Spider-Verse were the ones that were sort of ideally the ones that would have gotten the win at the Academy. And obviously, The Boy and the Heron won. And
it's a good movie. I don't think it's behind me. It's like when is the best. Go ahead.
No. In fact, like one of the things that I saw online a lot, because look, I was upset. I was a little pissed. So I went online and I looked at the comments, and people were still doing the thing of like anime won. I thought we were past this. I thought we were past anime is so significant now that like I thought we were beyond, because 10 years ago it's a different story. Like Ghibli losing, The Wind Rises losing to. I can't remember what movie it was in 2013.
Probably some Big Hero shit.
Yeah. I think, no, was it Big Hero 6? It lost to Big Hero 6, which was embarrassing. Which was
a lot of fucking Lego movie was nominated. Yeah. I'm still fucking pissed about that.
Yeah. So like, I think that was the year. Like 10 years ago, different story. Anime still growing and still not really a niche thing. Now, and still a niche thing. Now it's like mainstream, and I think it's beyond the Academy. And I'm surprised that people are still at this point of like, well, we have to really treat like. I think this is one of Miyazaki's worst movies. I think that by far this is one of his worst, like story-wise. Obviously, art and animation, it's now newer than ever. It's better than ever. But from a storytelling perspective, this is one of his worst films ever, and I don't think it should represent anime winning. I think like the idea of people defending it because it's anime. They're like, because they're like, whoa, Miyazaki won 2. That means Spirited Away and this. It's like, but Spirited Away is a perfect movie. This is such a cataclysmic fucking failure of storytelling. It's a mess. It's unfinished. It bounced through things quickly. That
That's part of the movie is the beginning before the fucking isekai shit.
Yeah, like, and so, you know, like, whatever interpretation you have of this movie, like, as I fought for in the comments for a little bit, I'm like, look, the early Gwen section is better than the entire movie of Boy and the Huron, because it matches, because the art, the animation, the sound, the ambient sound, like the police sirens and everything happening around, the color definition, the emotion, the dialogue, everything with the Gwen section is like so well connected. It's so perfect, and the rest of the movie pretty much follows that tread line.
I think it's like it was a Pixar effect in the beginning, because Pixar is a well-known name, and it's like, and because if it's anything slightly artsy that they make that wasn't even that even artsy, yeah. It's like they get the win easily because their name.
I think Brave, right? 2011, Brave. That's one that one against Paranorman and Frankenweenie. So same thing. You know, that was, and that's not their.
Because the thing is, like, what the biggest competition Boy and Huron had, because like it's an artsy looking movie. Of course, it was gonna win. And the biggest competition it has was Spider-Verse, but like the Academy have like something against like comic book movies, even though the Spider-Verse won. There wasn't really too much competition that year. It was like what, Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Incredibles 2. I forgot what were the other ones.
What did DreamWorks do that? Boss Baby? No. Was that? Maybe that was Boss Baby nominated here. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Probably, yeah. Like, Disney just had Incredibles 2 and fucking Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't like they were winning. So, they just have something against comic book movies. It seems like they don't like nominating comic book movies for anything.
No.
It's very rare. It's rare. It does happen, but it is rare.
Yeah.
The foreign films do get, like,
they get eyes.
In general, not anime, just foreign films in general, they do get noticed. Hence, we get foreign films that, like, us Americans don't even have access to. Like, again, Robot Dreams got picked as a nomination, and it's like, we can't root for that because no one here has fucking seen it.
It's very...
So, like, when that got nominated, they were like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. And, like, it could be the best movie of the year, but, number one, it doesn't look like it even reaches Spider-Verse or Huron. That's the other thing. It's like, that movie might have been a very great accomplishment.
It looks chill. I want to see it, but, like, I don't have legal access to it. I think I have legal access to it for one fucking week at a theater that's, like, on a different, like, state. But, like, after that week, they don't show it anymore. It wasn't, like...
Yeah. I will still fight for the fact that I think TMNT Mutant Mayhem deserved the spot more than Nimona did. But Netflix has a bigger pool now. Netflix is much more significant.
Yeah, I agree.
Paramount.
I
think it's again, I think
it was still like it was still a streaming
but
movie.
Its story is very basic, and I think that what TMNT does with its story and mirrors it with its antagonists, and then the dialogue and the chemistry with the cast, and again, the evolution of Paramount animation itself with that movie, very impressive. Like, that's a great jump for that studio, just quality-wise.
Oh, yeah, way better, yeah.
So, and Nimona was cut back film-wise. That's the thing. Nimona is literally a budget-cut movie. That's a movie that was going to be Blue Sky Disney. They got cut. They had to cut back. And like I said before, there are moments where the sound design is just not there at all, and you're like, what happened? What happened to the sound design? And like,
I didn't notice it.
Again, just these are like for a few seconds. But if you're the Academy, you would think they'd be like fine-tooth combing this. But again,
no, they're not.
But
okay, here's the thing: they're not picky when it comes to animated. Animated movies, they don't like. They don't really treat.
Again, Boss Baby. So
they don't really treat with too much respect. Like I remember there was like one Oscars where like whoever was like presenting the animation award. It was either last year or the year before. There was like. Animation, like, movies are great, but, like, animation is that, that movie where you just, like, leave around, like, you just leave,
They literally said that, yeah.
Yeah, like, you let your kids watch while you leave the room. It's something that, we adults have to, like, have around or something. Like, they were, like, down, I don't remember the entire speech, I don't remember every word verbatim, but, like, they were very much downplaying animation. Like, you look on Twitter, it was pissing off so many animators.
I will say, like, by the time animation actually fully gets the respect it deserves, I feel like all the animated movies will be fully AI written and produced. Like, by 2050, like, maybe they'll finally realize, oh, maybe we should treat them a little more respect. Like, by then, and that's going to be the time when it actually is, like, fully, like, AI driven and no longer, like, actually.
Oh my god, what? Why are we, are progressing to this future where, it's making nobody with jobs happy? Only this is, the pro-executive future.
Well, that's what dystopians are. It's just the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and, those in the middle that had a chance in the past are now getting less.
There's no more career. Eventually, they're probably, it's in the works, they're probably, working on AI to make fucking AAA video games.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, they were, I think there's AI now that codes certain sections, sort through coding, makes coding a lot easier, which solves a big portion of video gaming, which should cut down on the cost of video games, video game production. Not the cost of, buying video games, but video game production itself. It should cut that down, but that's also going to cut jobs.
I fear the day that, I'm listening to a podcast. I've been listening to a podcast for, a year, and I was like, this is, one of my favorite podcasts. This podcast is good. And then I find out the people on the podcast aren't even real. They were AI. They were AI written and AI voices the whole time.
Oh, that's
and I'm just like, that's the one I thought on my headphones and fuck!
And you've watched 700 episodes.
I donated their Patreon and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? They're not real?
That's coming. If it's not already
It's gonna happen.
There's someone's testing it, I'm sure. Isn't there that AI rapper that's out there now?
There's AI everything. There's AI fucking VTubers. There's AI fucking...
Well, VTubers seems like it's easy to do. They already don't blend. That's the point, is they're not real, and a lot of them act like they're not real on purpose, and it's you're.
It's kind of they're role playing a role.
Yeah, they're role playing.
My avatar is a fucking dragon girl lolly, and it's so I'm going to play the part of the dragon girl lolly.
So now all you have to do is make an AI train it on what that tendency would be, and then recommend it. Again,
what I'm scared of is we're gonna get it's already happening too. We're gonna be given products that's why I ran the podcasting. We're gonna be given products where oh, this is cool. It's made by a real person. Then we find out later, no, it's AI. No. We were deceived the whole time.
Yeah, and again, that's what makes it also hard to consider.
Dude, the fucking future is so we're gonna get a whole movie done by AI.
Yeah.
And they're gonna sell it to like people made it, and then that movie's gonna come out on Blu-ray. And it's going to come with audio commentaries, and it's that DVD is gonna be special. Gonna come out with multiple audio commentaries, and oh shit, they usually don't. They usually just have one audio commentary or none. This has multiple, and then after a year after that DVD comes out, everyone finds out that it was AI that made the whole movie, and those were AI voices and those are AI. That was AI written commentary, acting like they made the movie.
Mark. Just wait a year until the Riot Blu-ray comes out, and your dream will be reality. I don't know what... I was like, Mark,
you mean the Wish Blu-ray?
Wish.
Wish?
Yeah, Wish.
4K
Just
Blu-ray?
wait a year until the Wish Blu-ray comes out. We've got that movie already. That happened.
We worked really hard on this movie.
We did a great job. Yeah.
We did a good job on the movie.
What would you say, Dave, is the movie?
We produced it. We worked really hard on producing the song. See AI TikTok voice that's fucking doing the audio commentary from the DVD.
Alright, so talking about AI movies that seem like they were written with simplistic stories that probably
I can quickly talk about other movies I've seen this year.
Oh, that's right. You had a couple of them. Yeah. Keep it moving. What else do you have?
I saw E.T. in theaters for the first time.
We're talking about movies this year, not talking about...
I don't care. I'm going to talk about it real quick. I don't have any time. It's ScreenBlast. I don't have time to... I'm just going to be real quick.
You went back 40 years.
Yeah, bitch. It's fucking... Alright, so... I've seen E.T. parodied a billions of times. What are you doing? That's spoilers. The fuck was that? What was that? But like, I've seen E.T. parodied a billion times, mainly from Robot Chicken and like fucking all of Steven Spielberg's like cartoons.
Wait, did you see that movie from a few years ago with that robot that E.T. No, all the ripoffs. You've seen a bunch of E.T. You've seen E.T. before.
I've seen the Iron Giant.
You've seen ripoffs.
I've seen the Iron Giant.
That's it. Yeah.
But like, E.T. still hits.
Cool.
It's a really good movie. It's a fun one too, especially I have a soft spot for like older movies that have like practical effects, so it's still like fun to look at.
Yeah.
And E.T. is a fun practical effect. And I won't lie, that the ending where E.T. has to leave, it did hit me.
It did hit you?
Yeah, it's the floating bikes. It was still magical. It was like that's because like it's the score and everything. It's how everything is everything is filmed, everything is cinematized, and like the score and everything. That bike scene was still magical, and it's more of like I can see why this is famous. It is a great feeling when those bikes do fly. And like, the ending, it hit me. I wasn't choking up because like everyone was saying their bye, but then the last person to say bye was and it caught me off guard. It was
the little sister, right?
No, it was a fucking dog.
Oh, the dog. That's
yeah,
right.
it's like one little tear squirted down. I'm like, damn it, they got me. I was like, yeah, that's a good ass movie.
Yeah, E.T.
still hits even to this day.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's something about the practical effects. And again, there's so many movies in the 80s that are timeless just because of the way they were filmed. It also helps that they were using actual film, so it brings a grade of more quality than even more modern movies that were made for younger audiences that are live action, So I feel like there's a little bit more genuine quality there. Like, I look at Gremlins, and I have a really good time with going back and watching, like, Gremlins. Or
Still need to watch Gremlins, too.
Or, like, Jumanji, to me, is like, that's a timeless movie.
Does Gremlins 2 take place during the holidays?
I don't recall. I think so. I just know I've watched.
I know Gremlins 1 takes place. It's a perfect holidays movie.
Gremlins 1 is the movie I've watched so many times. Gremlins 2 I haven't. I've only watched maybe twice, and the last time I watched it, I think it was middle school. So I don't. That's so.
I'll watch Gremlins 2 of it this year or something.
But
I'm glad the first time I saw E.T. was in the theater. I'm glad that's why I like shit like theaters like the Alamo Drafthouse. I'm glad because I am uncultured and I haven't seen a lot of critically acclaimed movies, but I'm glad I haven't because I'm glad my first time of seeing some of these movies are in the theater.
Yeah, I will say there's some
experience.
So I think there's 80s movies that are more timeless, and then there's 90s movies where it's like, oh, they were of the time. So like there's so many movies in the 90s that are like so tech heavy, or trying to be super sci-fi that it's like, oh, this is super dated. Like I think there's a movie called Clock Stoppers with like these live action teenagers. And it's all about stopping time and reversing time, but all the tech is so ancient now that it's this feels like a time warp. But in the 80s, because your kids were more outside and all the activities were more toy based, it feels way more analog, but in a way where it's still timeless. So I think it works better.
There's also things that that look so good that it's too much work for them to do anymore because we have computers now. Yeah. I will always go back to this movie because it's my favorite movie ever. It's objectively, it's probably the best fucking movie ever. You can't argue. It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Those cartoons in real life just look so fucking good, and now we just have CG, and it's just they're never gonna put this much work in this shit again.
No, it's a shame because and again my favorite of back in the practical days. One of my favorites, and I talked about this before, I want to do a ScreenBlast classic look at Dante's Peak because that was one of the last real disaster movies. Because we have Twister, and Twister's going to be full CG. Twisters is going to be full CG, but outside of obviously they filmed on location, but there's going to be a lot of CG there. But the way that they literally built the whole volcano as a practical effect. They didn't tear down a whole city, but they built a massive version of this volcano, and they built all these these miniatures of the town so that when the disaster effect happens, it actually looks realistic. It's oh, this isn't bullshit. This isn't CGI. This is actually real destruction at a small scale.
there's like a hotel or restaurant. I think it's like in California, Las Vegas, or somewhere. And they have like a volcano in the middle of their
that's
thing.
awesome.
And it's like,
awesome.
That's cool.
I miss the restaurants, and we're going off on these deep tangents now. But I love the restaurants.
It's our podcast. Yeah, until we're AI. When we're AI, it's going to be more focused.
We are AI, yes. When we revert from video screens to just... No, it won't even have to be video. We don't have to take away video. It would just be us, and then our mouths will be off alignment from, what's being said. And
we'll both sound like the TikTok AI voice.
Yeah. When I go to the... Yeah. But I miss... And there's still some restaurants that do this, but not as many. Because it's all about food now. But I miss the restaurants that were based around set pieces, like Rainforest Cafe, or like when there's like...
I've only seen that in Paul Blart Mall Cop. I've never seen one in person.
There used to be one in Towson up until I was in middle school, at the end of middle school. Like I think 2009, I think is when they left. But Rainforest Cafe, the whole thing is just boom. They're like, there's just set pieces, things are happening around you. The interactivity thing. But now in modern stuff, it's just, here, eat some fucking food. You want to get something interactive? Look at this little touchscreen device. That's your interactivity. Why are you guys upset? Like, yeah. Yeah, it sucks. But yeah. Alright, let's, talking about interactivity, talking about things that aren't as good as they used to be. We're going to spend some time talking about Kung Fu Panda 4. Now, I want to run through the movie detail first.
And then we'll talk about... I'm going to talk about Madam Web. It sucks. There you go.
Oh. Madam Web. Oh, that's it?
It sucks. I have a literal minute-long review on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and check out K9 Biscuit's YouTube channel. K9 BISKUTS.
Stupid movie. Movie. We still got Kraven this year. What the fuck?
We still have Kraven, and I didn't trust it when they had the lion blood bullshit, and I still don't trust it. Like he should have full blown AIDS. Like, what are we talking about? He has lion's blood. Like that dude looks so cool.
He has lion AIDS.
He looks so cool.
Lion AIDS gives you superpowers,
dude. He looks so cool in Bullet Train. Same guy. He's a lemon. He's not tangerine.
There was one scene in that trailer that looked cool, and he was like when they
when he punches the fuck out of the guy in the car. Is that
it was more of like when he gets all those guys caught in like booby traps and shit.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see how it looks, but anything with you notice, by the way, how Sony has. I think we talked about this as well. Sony has like all their movies look the fucking same. The color grading, the fucking like the way they're filmed. I don't know what's up with that, but like it just looks so similar. Like, I don't know why, but it's like worse than the Marvel similarity.
Comic books are usually colorful. I don't know why like a lot of comic book movies have to be like we're dark and like we're low on color, except for like Marvel.
I know Marvel made sense because that's their theme now. That's been their theme forever, for like since the first Avengers when they really.
Well, they're starting to have some movies where it's like they look more colorful than others.
Well, let's not bring up Love and Thunder. We don't need to do that.
I was bringing up the Marvels.
We don't necessarily need to bring that up either.
Okay.
All right. We were talking about a movie that
Madam Web.
The momentum of all of this like sucked so badly about Madam Web that I lost the momentum to talk about.
Yeah, but like these,
you're talking
about movies and
Kraven
colors.
and stuff. Oh, the color grading, yeah. Just Marvel color grading. It's DC, of course, because the Snyder stuff really took the color hit. That's the problem. I will say
Shazam was colorful.
So yes, but that was post. That was like supposed to be off center from Snyder the whole time. That whole everything about that was supposed to be away from the Snyderverse. What were we talking about? The XMEN franchise, the old XMEN franchise. Technically, if you want to talk about who started it, technically you could say the X-Men did because their grading was always like almost Twilight-esque, where it's like a little darker than you would think, than natural colors would be, and like that's kind of they like that was Bryan something.
Call me a fake comic book fan. Oh well, I am. Call me a fake comic book movie fan, but like I'm still have yet to watch the original X-Men trilogy.
Yeah, I think we should.
I'm going to before we see Deadpool. I am going to for sure before we see Deadpool.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that again as well before summer as a ScreenBlast topic because I think that it's a great trilogy minus a couple pieces in the third that suck ass. But yeah, it's definitely of its time. A few of the effects are dated now, but yeah, it's pretty good.
And that's everything I've seen in theaters so far. There's a couple things I've seen at home, but we're going to talk about that later. We'll both talk about things we've seen at home later.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it moving. Talking about things that we haven't seen at home, but talking about something that just came out. Before we do that, actually, Jesus Christ.
This feels like something we should have saw at home.
I'm just going to chop this up.
The way it was written.
I'm just going to chop this up real quick. So, of course, guys, check out ScreenBlastPodcast.com. If you're here, you definitely or probably already know about it, but we have more than just Screen Blast, where we talk about, obviously, big theatrical films. We have, now Stream Blast is going to start to slide into Screen Blast because, essentially, sometimes we don't spend too much time talking about streaming stuff, so then that goes on the wayside, and we don't spend as much time with it. And then we have video game topics with Blasting Trope Reports. We have Mark and Bryan Have a Cow. Very chill, very fun, very casual. And then, like I said before, Cartoon Chat, which is our animation-centric podcast as well. So you can check all those out over here. They upload all at ScreenBlastPodcast.com. They upload, of course, as well at ScreenBlast Podcast's YouTube channel over at the ScreenBlast Society.
Every type of feed.
Yes, indeed.
You need a feed? We're on it.
Yes, indeed. Talking about adding more to the feed, let's talk about Kung Fu Panda 4 now. We're going to run through this movie detailed, then we'll talk about a bit of our nostalgia for the movie, then we'll get into a brief non-spoiler, and then we'll talk full spoilers. So just so you know what the rundown is, so you're not confused.
Brian's telling me so I know not to go into spoilers.
Yes. So, here's the thing. Release date, obviously, was last week, but again, this was the first big animated movie of the year. Obviously, adventure comedy, directed, by the way, I like doing these movie details because they give you an idea of where these people come from, where, like, some of the visions behind it. You can kind of get more of a sense of, oh, what am I seeing here? Why am I seeing it here? You've got Mike Mitchell, who directed the Lego Movie 2. He directed Trolls 1, Shrek 4. So this is his fourth movie, technically, that he's directed. And also Sky High, which is funny enough. That's very back in the day.
That's My Hero Academia before My Hero.
Before My Hero, yeah. Screenwriters include John Eibel, Glenn Berger, and Darren Lemke. Now, both Abel and Berger, by the way, they are long-season guys that worked on Kung Fu Panda. So they worked on 1 and 2 and 3. I'm surprised that, we'll talk about how the movie turns out, but like, they are seasoned veterans in the Kung Fu Panda film franchise. They equally both worked on Alvin and the Chipmunks 3 and Shrek 4 as well. So, like, Alvin 3 is kind of that one where you're like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting.
That movie's amazing.
Yeah, and we obviously we're going to talk about Dune 2 on another pod, but Hans Zimmer, it has two of the big movies of the year already. He's the guy that does the music for both. So
doesn't he have he has his own company at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he also has so many people that worked under him that are now just spreading out around the industry, and it's awesome.
Does he still take credit Hans Zimmer, even though it's some other dude or some shit?
No. Because he comes in a little bit and just okay, I'll touch up this.
He's everywhere, because I swear he's sometimes just at 3 or 5 places at once.
Well, because again, he did The Creator, he did Oppenheimer, I think. Was it Oppenheimer and The Creator? I think. Oppenheimer, I think, the Creator, and then Dune 2.
He played music during my wedding. He played music during my divorce. I didn't even invite anyone to my divorce.
You can't fucking afford him. Get out of here.
I'm in debt.
Because of him. Yeah.
He just volunteered to play during my divorce, and he charged me for that too.
It's incredibly disappointing. So the budget was $85 million, which again, we talk about the movies that I thought this was a good note, because we talk about so often, especially last year, we're like, man, the big issue with Elemental was it was $200 million, and it took forever for it to make its money back. In fact, it was word of mouth that started to get the train back on the track, but we talked about the fact that, why is Wish $200 million? Why was Raya, I think Raya was $200 million. Why?
$200 million is a magic number.
It's why are these Pixar movies, Lightyear and things like that, these are all movies that were $200 million.
It's not these celeb voices.
Why are you spending, right, but why are you spending so much money on the budget of these movies? And why can't we have a point where we cut back? And DreamWorks has done a really good job with that, right? Like, we've seen with, like, Ruby Gillman, it's insane that movie did not make its money back, because it was like $40 million. It was very cheap. They did that at quite a cut cost, and it still didn't make its money back, which is...
All you need to do is make an advertising blitz, and, like, people would try to go see it.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, they had a light blitz, but the problem, again, we talked about it, was it was too stacked in the summer. There were
it was like
things going on.
The whole time, and it doesn't even feel like a summer flick. It should have been like a fucking spring movie or something.
Yes, but getting back to the point of the budget, it's like Puss in Boots, the movie before that, was like less than one. It was like $90 or $95 million. And then you had Bad Guys, which I think was under $100 million as well. It's like. DreamWorks,
we talked about earlier. We talked about like
but they have adjusted. Like, that's the thing. DreamWorks has adjusted its budget. They are now not spending like they used to back in the day, like Pixar does. They know how to make a movie that does not burn.
This is some years ago, but like Cat in Underpants looks really good for what it is, and it's like one of their cheapest movies.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and of course, again, that was distributed. That was like. That was partner studio thing, but still low budget, not burning a bunch of money, and I think
it still looks unique compared to other animated movies too.
Yes, that's the other thing, is they knew that they were able to spend that money wisely, which is again why we talk about Across the Spider-Verse, under $100 million again. Across the Spider-Verse, and that movie looks incredible. Meanwhile, you look at something like Wish, and it's like, how does this movie cost $200 million? That's fucking insane.
If anything, it looks like the fucking animation is under budget from what it looks like.
Yes.
Somehow it can still cost more than Spider-Verse. Goddamn.
Cost more than Spider-Verse, yeah. Yeah, and again, like, it's already technically as of this weekend, it's made its money back by its budget. It's made its budget back. It's now, I think, at like $90 million already, which is very good. Because again, this was a great opening weekend, and we'll talk about it later.
I'm starting to believe the common Hollywood theory that like a lot of these movies are high budgeted, but you don't see is because like people like directors and producers are just hoarding money. Oh
no, I mean that's a big problem in the industry. But again, the difference was back in the day, Pixar and DreamWorks. Pixar and Disney movies in the early 2010s, they actually looked like they were evolving it looked like they were still spending their money.
Yeah.
Where their mouth was. Like, the cost of the movie, it looked like it made sense. Right? Like, it fit. Now it's like, again, when TMNT Mutant Mayhem does more than Walt Disney does in their animation department, like, in quality, it looks like you gotta double take. And we're gonna see, again, Moana's probably you're gonna notice, I'm sure that movie is gonna be very low budget. It was made as a TV series originally. So that's going to be their first, I think, real cutback movie, and we'll see what Frozen 3 next year looks like, because that's going to be significantly cut as well.
We probably got producers going to the CEOs of Disney, and it's like, yeah, we're going to need probably $180 million for this movie, and they go back to their group are like, we both can take $1 million each. We all we need to do is spend fucking $20 million in this movie. We can just reuse some assets from the last movie. We're good. All right, let's just.
Again, that's definitely out. Again, the budget thing is definitely out there. That's the whole thing with Hollywood. Is where are they pocketing, and that's what people have talked about for years. But
I want to go in development on the movie if I get to pocket that much.
Yeah, and again,
I don't care if you fire me. I'm talking about the already.
Oh my god. And then of course, the running time. Now people said this was the lowest, the lowest runtime. This is not the shortest Kung Fu Panda movie. Technically, the first movie is the shortest. All Kung Fu Panda movies are funny enough, they're all between 90 and 95 minutes. None of them venture any further away from that. So they're all four are within a very similar runtime, and they all kind of use their
runtime. The first one feels so rewatchable. I can rewatch that a billion times.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's move on to the cast here. Now, of course, you've got oh my god, the image for Viola Davis looks terrible. My bad, guys. Obviously the chameleon. Antagonist Viola Davis, the chameleon.
She's a shapeshifter. She shifted into low quality.
Into low quality pixels, yes. You've got James Hong, who is of course Poe's dad. You've got Dustin Hoffman, who is Shifu, of course. Awkwafina, the new character. What's her name? Mark.
Awkwafina. I don't fucking know. The wolf, it's some fucking Chinesey name. That's why I don't. That's why I don't remember.
It is not a Chinesey name.
Okay, what is... You know the name, or are you asking me?
It is not a Chinese.
Were you honestly asking me?
What?
Were you honestly asking me, or you know the name?
No, I'm sadly I don't even know.
Look it up real quick.
Looking it up
You
right
say
now.
it's not a Chinese name, you look the fuck up. I remember. It's like why I don't remember the name of certain animes, because like it's not like a English like name.
Zen. Oh, yeah. Okay, it is little because it's a Z and it's H-E-N. It's not. I don't think of it as a Chinese name.
It's not. I thought I remember it being 2 syllables.
Oh my god. But yeah, Awkwafina as Zen, and then you've got Jack Black, of course.
In my head, like I didn't really care for her name in the movie. In my head, I was just calling her Aquafina the whole time, or the wolf.
Same. Yeah.
She gets typecast the same character type all the time. And it's like I just see Aquafina.
Yes. I mean, again, like we talked about it before, her voice is distinct and I think fits an animated movie. I think it's something where it makes sense for her to be in a voice acting role because, again, you have that distinct voice. You might as well put her in an animated feature. Again, we saw that with Raya and the Last Dragon, but you kind of... And again, I think that...
You get that with Jack Black.
Yeah, same with Jack Black. I guess she's technically different than the dragon, right? She's not typecast.
She's not the same guy. No, she's not typecast. Because like the seagull is annoying. The dragon is just like is curious. Zen is a dick. She's a thieving dick.
She's not.
She becomes less of a dick later on.
Right. She's a conflicted.
She's cocky.
She's a conflicted character who turns from good to bad, and that's it. Like, but again, we'll talk about it. Let's get into the sort of non-spoilery review. Oh, before we get into that, Mark, let's talk about Kung Fu Panda history here. Kung Fu Panda nostalgia, Kung Fu Panda, like, what do you think about the Kung Fu Panda franchise?
They all suck. I hate them.
Good.
All right.
All they need to do is make 2 more movies, and they'll have enough for for Furious 5 and Poe. Every one of them can have their own movie now.
I mean, to watch?
They don't have their own movies, but
especially this one. Yeah. Especially 4.
Yeah.
They get nothing in 4.
Yeah, no. But what do you think of the Kung Fu Panda franchise up until before 4, of course?
From like all the Kung Fu Panda franchise between 1 and 3 is fucking fantastic. I even love the show. Legends of Awesomeness, great fucking show.
One of the shows. I'm sorry, you gotta make sure you correct that.
That's why I said 1 through 3.
No.
Legend of Awesomeness started and ended before the 3rd one.
Yeah, but there was another series before the 3rd one, wasn't there?
No, it came after the 3rd one. Because it was about those fucking kid pandas.
Ah.
And those kid pandas came from 3.
I see.
Well, Poe didn't interact with any other pandas until 3. I don't know if those kid pandas came from 3, but yeah. I haven't seen it yet either. But like I remember specifically that one came from 3. That one came after 3. And I was like, why are they making more Kung Fu Panda? And then a Netflix show came out, and it was like, why are they making more Kung Fu Panda? And then Kung Fu Panda 4 was announced, and I was like, they're still making more Kung Fu Panda. It's done.
Right.
Stop. Well, like, first movie, favorite DreamWorks movie ever. It's like a really good like Kung Fu movie. I love the character development. I love all the characters are endearing. All the character interactions are like fun, and it's just a fun journey. And it's just it feels so rewatchable. And the second one is like it's really good. Some people it's just as good as some people argue better. They're first and second, both fucking solid ass flicks. And then the third one is also a really good movie. It's not as good as the first 2. But it's still really good, and it's a good conclusion. I think it wrapped up the entire series well, and even the show. The show is also like fun misadventures with Poe and the Furious 5. Even though you have the fake voices, I think they're all fitting. And like whoever replaces Poe, I don't know the name, but whoever replaces Jack Black's role as Poe in the Legends of Awesome series,
it fits.
Does a good job.
Yes.
Does a really good job. Kid me didn't really notice it too much, or I didn't think about it.
No, not at all.
Like I knew it wasn't Jack Black, but I just didn't think about it. And it was like the show was really good. And it ended before 3 was coming out. Like cuz they were like there was like loose ends, like not complete cliffhangers, but like we're going to like the show was like hinting at we're going to come back to this plotline later, and like, the later episodes before 3 like wrapped up those plot lines. And then we got 3.
I just want to interrupt you here. So The Legends of Awesomeness, weirdly enough, it ran from September of 2011 through June of 2016. But in that being true, it ran, like, first season came out 2011, ended 2012. Second season, 2012, 2013. Third season, 2013 to 2014. But then they held the other 10 episodes for right before the third movie came out.
They did it on purpose. I love it. Amazing. They're good. 2014
and then 2016 is when the last 10 episodes of the...
Well timed. That was good. Good shit.
Waited for a long time for this.
Good shit. Good shit. That was good. That was well executed.
Yes.
Series is well executed. That's why, like, 3 was the ultimate ending, because not only was it, like, the conclusion to the movies, it was the conclusion to the fucking show, too. So it's like, I am good with the Kung Fu Panda franchise. It is like when Toy Story 4 was announced. It's like, why are you doing this? You can stop. Yeah. You can just stop. Yeah. I said I was satisfied.
Yes.
I know I kept asking for more, but like you gave me.
I don't think anyone was asking for another.
No. When I'm talking, like, let me finish. Like when, like, for Toy Story 2, like when the second one came out, I was like, I know I was asking for more, but I'm done asking. You already gave me my more. I'm done. Same thing with Kung Fu Panda 3. It's like, I know after 2 came out, I was asking for more, but like, I'm done asking for more. I wasn't asking any more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, unintentional. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I'm going to jump in real quick here. Again, so Paws of Destiny, which was the first series after that came out in 2018. That was a Prime Video feature, and then the Dragon Knight, actually, like you said, 3 seasons, 2022.
41 fucking episodes. I counted after we saw the fourth movie. I was like, how many episodes was the Netflix show? 41.
Yeah. And
that show, like, it didn't come out too long ago, so, like, whoever studio's making that show, they were like, they got a bucket and just, like, threw it on Netflix.
Well, again, DreamWorks produces them, but, yeah. DreamWorks produces them, but then they go out to whatever distribution place that was.
I know, but they had, like, stacked episodes so fast. It felt like so fast.
Yeah, I mean...
41 episodes in, like, 2 or 3 years?
It's not a series that has, like, critical writing. So it's not like, you really need to think about it. You're saying this like it's Game of Thrones. Like, man, how did they write 40 episodes this fast? I can't believe it. But it's like, I mean, you can just pump out milk whenever, like it's... Yeah. It's like cows udder stuff. Before we keep moving, I do want to talk about, in terms of my intro to Kung Fu Panda, I think of Kung Fu Panda 1 as, like, again, I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It was one of those movies where, as a kid, that was, like, the first time where I was really, outside of, like, Madagascar, maybe, but by the time Kung Fu Panda came out in 2008, that was, like, the first time I thought of, like, oh, the Pixar, DreamWorks, Disney rivalry, right? Like, that's when I was, like, thinking about, like, oh, this is so good, what can I compare it to? Like, and that's when that started for me. Like, this is such a good movie, like Mark said, very rewatchable. The build-up of Poe, the battles, how cool they make the Furious Five, how they define the Furious Five there.
Legends of Awesomeness. Sweet.
The all of that was great, and again, I love how he's just a fan. Like, that's the thing about the Marvels, right? That's what's funny. It's like the Marvels kind of takes a little bit of that from Kung Fu Panda, where Miss Marvel is basically where Poe is in the beginning of Kung Fu Panda 1. But then the movie,
I love Kung Fu!
But then the whole thing derails over in Marvel Land. But here they really do a good job of that climb to get to the level where you're ready to be a part of this. And I think that's what makes it such a great movie, because the climb is awesome and the success afterward is awesome. And Tai Lung is fantastic. So all of it, you feel like
he's a panda. You're a panda.
You're a panda. But
I love that quote.
It's all fantastic. And so, like, when you get to Kung Fu Panda 2, the great thing about it was, again, they evolved that character more. Like, they reach into Poe's backstory. And I don't remember if or if not it's a part of the show. Like, I remember watching the show. Like, I remember that, but I don't remember too much about the show. That's the thing. Like, I remember that I would watch it, but I don't recall if it was like, oh man, like, this ties into this. But I know that the backstory was very interesting that they were setting up for 2. Like, this whole thing of this antagonist being so significant to Poe and his journey as a character, and the fact that that's why he is he was adopted
the
by
first
by
movie.
his goose father. Like, I think that it's fantastic that 2, like, just delves into that, and then, you have the Furious 5 again tagging along, and that's fantastic. And the whole set pieces, I think it just evolves the franchise. The third one, I don't really care. I think it's fine. I don't ever really like when they go into the cutesy wootsy, like, because
And the world.
But it's fine. And it wraps it, and that's what matters to the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Is it wraps it? So when you think about the 1 through 3, I think of them equivalent to the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, which is that they start well, they get better at 2, and they end well enough. Like, I think obviously Dragons 3 ends better than Kung Fu Panda 3, but either way, it's a great chapter in the DreamWorks legacy.
For me, Kung Fu Panda 3, I think the movie as a whole, it's just okay, but I think the ending is strong. It doesn't save the entire movie, but like it doesn't make the entire movie amazing.
Yeah.
But like I think the ending is strong. I think the ending hits hard.
Fair. No, I mean,
especially it also feels like it should end because he teaches everyone Chi. He teaches everyone like Chi, and that everyone therefore should know Kung Fu. And it's like, when you keep the series going, it's kind of like, shouldn't everyone have the power of fucking Chi?
Yeah. That's why I was curious, and we're going to get into 4 in a sec, but that's why it's like, when, what's her name, the Chameleon's like, yeah, I'm going to take over the Valley of Peace or whatever. It's like, I was like, okay, I'm very curious to see how this goes, because everyone should be prepared. Like,
Everyone got Chi powers.
Yeah, I was up for this battle, and then we don't even get there. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4 gets announced. We're curious, but again, the big thing was, where are the Furious 5 and all of that? But let's talk about the movie itself. Let's get into the actual sort of non-spoiler review. Mark, what did you think of Kung Fu Panda 4? It's non-spoiler. You can make this brief, like, keep it like short.
Okay, so when the movie was announced, like I said before, I was like, why are they making more? When we saw the trailer, I was like, okay, because I didn't see any Furious 5. That was a big knockoff for me, and I didn't see anything that made me go wow. And another thing is, like, the animation looks good as it always does. It looks just as good as like 3. But my thing is, we, like, that amazing year we got the bad guys in Puss in Boots. It looked like DreamWorks was experimenting with, like, a new type of art style. So I was like, if we had this Puss in Boots animation with a new Kung Fu Panda, it's like a match made in heaven. That would be good as shit, man. It's like Kung Fu Panda with that fucking with the fucking bad guys / Puss in Boots art style. That would be fucking amazing. We ain't getting that.
Yeah, no,
we ain't getting that. But I was like, it looks fine. It looks like a movie. I'll watch it, but like,
right. But
it doesn't have the factor of like, oh, I haven't seen these characters in a long time, because okay, one, it's not all the characters. I like Poe's. My favorite part about the Kung Fu Panda series, even the show has it where it's like, I love Poe's conflict, or like his interactions with the Furious 5. His interactions with Sifu are fun too, but like his interactions with the Furious 5 are also really fun. And like when we look at that movie, it wasn't going to give us that. And like the animation style doesn't look like anything new, and like it doesn't have the factor of we haven't seen these characters in a long time. So, because like there's an Amazon Prime show and a Netflix show that I haven't watched, so it's like, the world is still active. I'm just stopped caring about it because it felt like it's already ended to me. So it's like, oh, this is just like more Kung Fu Panda that like I'm just probably not going to be all into.
Yeah, I think we're both at the point where like IP attachment is at an all-time low, outside of like for you for Sonic, but like IP attachment, I think just because of the way that whether it's streaming or just life in general has progressed for us as life goes on and on, it's like that idea of like, I gotta tap into this. Like for me, for Star Wars, where it's like I used to be so in like Mandalorian, oh shit, I gotta see this, oh this, I gotta see this, oh, and then like I don't really care, I could give a fuck less. Like for Kung Fu Panda, like you were talking about, it's like I mean, it ended for me. I'm good. I don't need to. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But what did you put?
Like if it's on like when they finally release it, another Shrek, it's like that does have the factor of like I haven't seen these characters in a long time.
It's also a curiosity. Even if you see the trailer, it's like I don't know the movie. Like so.
Because from the look at the Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer, it's like This doesn't look like a movie that's going to expand the world of Kung Fu Panda. This looks like Poe on another Kung Fu adventure, and like we have that at home for the Netflix and the Amazon Prime show that like I've not bothered to watch. It's like you're making another one of these and putting it into a theater.
Yeah. But what did you think about the movie from a non-spoiler review perspective?
It's fine. It's like it didn't surprise me with anything from outside the trailer. It's kind of like everything I expected from the trailer. I was hoping to be surprised, but like it was just like it's just another Kung Fu Panda adventure, and it doesn't like it's a bit disappointing because I was expecting like if you're gonna like 3 felt like it ended. If you're gonna give me more of a like a if you're gonna add like another movie, like and it's gonna take place after the ending, kind of like Toy Story 4. You gotta give me some nuance. Toy Story 4 at least gave me some nuance. It gave me a reason. It gave itself a reason to exist. By the time we got to the ending of this movie, it's like this. You could have just like made this like a TV special.
Agreed.
Like yeah, but that's what I think of the movie. It's just fine.
Yeah, I think
disappointing.
Yeah, as we've talked about off camera quite a few times, the critical piece to this movie is from an art design and an animation design. There's never anything wrong with the Kung Fu Panda sort of status quo, but when you get spoiled with the quality that was brought to us with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and then just the stylistic choices of the bad guys. Then the next few movies, and then just the special little things that that I saw in Trolls 3. It's like, oh, what are they? Yeah, but it's like, all right, so what are you going to bring to the table with Kung Fu Panda 4? And I'm not saying any of this is like easy to do. Like, obviously, these are animators that are working very hard. This is something that's going to take a lot of time. This is not something that's just easy to do in any instance whatsoever. I'm not saying that it's easy at all, but the idea was, oh, okay, maybe there's going to be a little more flavor when we get to see this. And like you said, when the trailers came out, it's like, okay, I'm fine with the idea of, again, Kung Fu Panda status quo. In fact, it looks a little better than, obviously, the last few, as it would as time has evolved, as time has progressed, and the animation quality and the art will have evolved, for Kung Fu Panda. But from the story, the trailers kind of just gave the idea, like, oh, we're building a team that isn't the Furious Five, and the hang-up was, why aren't the Furious Five here if this is such a significant threat? That was the big question. The Chameleon did look interesting, but it just felt like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, and not something that's going to be so significant. When you think about especially like Kung Fu Panda 2, the villain that's so significant to Poe's history, I don't think or even Tai Lung, who obviously was critical to him progressing to become the Dragon Warrior, there's so much more personal connection. But it's like with the Chameleon, just from even the trailers, this is just the trailers, you just thought, okay, like, I need to see in the movie what this is going to bring to the table. You have, obviously, Zen of Aquafina, and it's like, okay, what is she going to be here for? And the trailers didn't reveal too much, except that, obviously, she would be some sort of teammate, essentially. And, there's going to be a big battle. I think that this movie is not going to be remembered well. I think this is a movie that will, and again, I talked about this off camera as well, I think financially we will see that this will sink. I know that it had a great opening weekend, but I think that after the fans have seen it, they will not recommend it. They have not recommended it. And that it unfortunately just stains the Kung Fu Panda franchise as a whole. It opens up unnecessary questions, it feels like, for Poe. It opens up things that it goes on side quests we don't need. The music is way less defined. Like, they don't seem to branch off into anything new music-wise.
To be fair,
and I know the music is iconic, but like, this felt very like Star Wars to me. Let's play the great hits. Nothing new. Like, for Zen, I don't remember any key, like, like for the Furious Five, I remember there's some cool soundtrack moments when the Furious Five are fighting. In the history of Kung Fu Panda. Here, it's like when Zhen fights, it's like Zhen is apparently an important character.
But sorry, but I want to go back to like when you're saying like talking about the box office.
Yeah.
I think smartly it came out like at the right time because I think this year like we get this is a year where like we're most affected by like the writer's strike from the past, where it doesn't feel like much movie, at least at the beginning of this year. Like the first quarter of this year, it's like doesn't feel like much big blockbusters coming out this.
I mean, it's lucky for them that Spider-Verse, in fact, was not done.
Oh yeah,
because if it was coming out at the end of this month,
and
they would be screwed.
And right now, I think its only competition is like the leftover showtimes from like Migration. Is that even still in theaters?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
It's probably not. I think there's no competition. I don't think there's any other family movie in theaters.
I mean, that is definitely something that will allow it to stretch. I do think Ghostbusters, which is aiming for that younger audience, it has a younger cast, obviously, alongside the older cast, is going for that family aim, and I think Ghostbusters is going to be its biggest threat coming up in the next week.
Yeah, but even then, it still has, like, plenty, it still has some time to make some money.
It does.
They released it at a smart time.
This is opposite Ruby Gillman, which came out in chaos. This comes out at a perfectly aligned time where there's no real family competition, if I'm not mistaken, until like late April. So they are fine financially. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Kung Fu Panda 4, to wrap up my non-spoiler review, I just think, like I said, if there's one thing you could call this, it's because you don't want to say unnecessary, but man, this story
it's unnecessary.
Makes it very, like, because by the end of the movie, technically it is relevant, because it does impact the overall legacy of what is this world. So technically it does affect it, but the way that we get to the end of this movie is so, like, bad, or so poorly written, that I think that it damages the entire franchise as a whole. It's like, this is like, if Spider-Verse 3 is bad, it will absolutely cataclysmically damage 2 forever. And I will not be able to say, oh yeah, 2 is great, because 3, everyone will say, but 3 ruins it. It's like, this affects the entire legacy of, like, this idea of Poe as a character.
Yeah, this movie does end in a way where it's like, it's not a cliffhanger, but it's like, hey, this is the future of our world. This is definitely going to happen in the future. If we show you more of this world, this is going to happen. Yeah. And it's like, you don't need to show me more of this world. I'm good.
You know what it's like when Tony Stark snaps and then he dies. It's like when you think about him dying and then you see, like, Doctor Strange 2. And you're like, that's what he died for. And, like, you just think about the legacy, like, the long-term impacts. It's like, he died to protect this world. And this world is now doing this. And it's like, oh man, that sucks.
You see freaking Black Panther.
Yeah.
Ironheart.
Yeah. So let's...
No, you find out Rhodey was a Skrull. That's what happens. You find out Rhodey wasn't even there the whole time.
His best friend, apparently.
You find out Rhodey wasn't even there for him.
His best friend.
He was kidnapped. How... God! I hate this so much. Fucking shit. Secret Invasion, it needs to be non-canon. It pisses me off. It pisses off everyone. They just need to just make it a statement. They need to, the next show or movie, they'll need to continue right where they left off of Secret Invasion, and then have Nick Fury just like wake up out of bed and like, oh God, I had that nightmare again.
So again, the big problem is the Thunderbolts and Captain America come out next year, so like those two should be very important to what happens to this, but I doubt the Skrulls have anything to do with those two movies. I swear to you, I bet, you know what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen about the Skrulls. Apparently this is very important, but like, I bet you the Skrulls have nothing to do with both of them.
We're talking about Kung Fu Panda 4, don't get me started.
Alright.
Don't get me started.
Pause. Alright, so let's get into spoilers now, Mark. So, obviously...
That's a good picture.
Overall, yeah, this is like probably one of the best pictures that's actually on the internet for this movie, unless we were to just like screenshot the trailer. But yeah, like this movie does a lot. We've talked about sort of our thoughts, non-spoiler wise. What do you think of this movie? Sort of, you know, what's one of the first things you want to bring up when you think about like, man, I got to talk about this?
I think this movie's great. I just like contradict my non-spoiler review.
I think it's better than The Incredibles. I don't know why people are upset.
Yeah, why are people so mad? Fucking haters. But alright, so the whole point of the movie is like Poe is like forced into he needs to find a successor.
Which
with the character, yeah. I don't know if the character has like canonical ages, but he doesn't feel that old. It feels like this is something they should look into when he's old.
Well, they just didn't like. This is the Cars 3. This is why I said like when we were talking outside.
I haven't seen Cars 3. You gotta see that.
Cars 3 does a better job because it like they basically have the same thing. Like Lightning McQueen is older, and you can tell because everyone else he's racing against is newer and faster. So they literally show his age. But in this movie, they don't show his age. They make him look like the same way he's looked since 2008. And you can't do that if you're trying to show an older... Make him older. Like, you know, we talked about, you know, like, this is the big problem.
And they still make him, like, he still feels young because he's, like, even though he's badass, he's still clumsy. And he's still, like, he's still making mistakes
Very
that, like...
stupid.
He should be more experienced than this.
Yes.
He doesn't feel like he's progressed. He doesn't feel like he's progressed to the point where he needs to find a successor. He definitely needs to grow himself some more, which is like I don't like to think about that because by the end of 3, it feels like he's reached his like final status.
He's
like,
peak.
Like yeah, he's peak.
Yeah.
He should grow from here. He's got so much like chi energy in him. He turned into an actual dragon by the end of the 3rd movie. And it's like, this is like a repeating arc because the last movie was about, it's not the same exact arc, but it's like, Poe is strong enough to become a teacher. Now he's so good. He's even better than the Furious 5, and he needs to learn to become a teacher to them and to other people. And it's like, by the end of the movie, he's teaching everyone Kung Fu.
Yeah. Which is also a very wise way, like it's just a wisdom thing. It's like, it's beautiful because it shows how wise he's become. In this skill and in the progression of his knowledge, and mastery. But, like, this is why the idea of him not, like, I don't know whose idea it was to say, oh, what if the Dragon Warrior was passed down even when the guy is peak? Because I never thought the idea was, like, Oogway was old and Shifu was the Dragon Warrior, and then... Or he wasn't the Dragon Warrior, though, right? That's the thing. They were looking for him. Isn't that the whole thing? Wasn't that the whole... Like, the movie's rules aren't right, aren't they? Because because when Shifu explains it, it still doesn't make sense because Oogway was old, and he was the spiritual, whatever the fuck they called it. And then they try to give the impression that now... what's his name? Shifu is the spiritual advisor, and that Poe will...
No, he wasn't. He didn't get the role of spiritual advisor. He wanted the role. But, like, Uwe didn't give it to him.
No, he wanted to be Dragon Warrior, right?
No, that was meant to go to, like, one of the Furious 5. And if none of the Furious 5 got it, especially Tiger, she was pissed she didn't get it.
Well, yeah, that's... Yeah.
No,
I don't remember, yeah. Yeah, but,
and Tai Lung was also pissed he didn't get it either.
Exactly. But it's, like... So, why would... Like, he's peak, and he's spreading the word of... Like, he's spreading the wisdom across the globe. Like... You would think across the globe, but apparently no one knows him in this city either, so I don't know what the fuck that's about. Which, again, they want to make that a big thing, but it didn't make sense.
I don't like that either!
You know,
he saved, like, the Valley of Peace, it's a big deal, and, like, okay, maybe these, like, worlds don't connect to each other, and it's like, oh, well, we know Shifu. And it's like, you should know Poe, he's a legend at this point.
But, like, they didn't know about the things that happened to, in 2? That was a pretty big city.
Or 3. Like...
Yeah. So... Either way, like, all these things happen, and they're not... But, like,
again... the world feels so much smaller.
Yes. But I don't understand why... Like, again, the critical piece is, he's now too old. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. It's like, he's too old, even though he can still kick ass. Because anytime... This is the thing. Anytime he's serious, which is the thing that's also annoying, is, like, when he's serious and he's all in, then he's not taking shit from anyone. Like... When Zhen, and I swear to God, I was starting to get mad. Because when Zhen, in the beginning, when she's robbing the temple, because I have an attachment, everyone that watches Kung Fu Panda should have a little bit of attachment to the temple, and, like, it's like a respect thing. It's like, there's a lot of valuable shit here, and it should be respectful for Poe as well. Yet he's like clumsily missing stopping Zhen. Like he's missing the capture, and then after a few tries, then he actually takes it seriously. And it's like, I need you to like be on it. Like you're old enough to know, like to be like boom, like
and not fall for the trick where it's like she plays dead.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have felt for that. That pissed me off.
Yes.
Like, a lot of things about him and his like, combating with Zhen just, like, pissed me off. Especially, like, when we get near we're on spoilers, so we get to the end of the movie, and he starts fighting Zhen. It's like, oh, yeah, the movie's like, yeah, they're evenly matched. No, they're not! That's fucking bullshit!
So, here's what we talked about this, on the walk back, after the movie. Like, I do think that he was pulling back, but what they should have done is they should have shown that he was pulling back. They should have had some inner monologue thing with him where he's pulling back, or he even says that to her. I don't want to fight you. He says that, but like, say it again. Have him say it.
We have to come to our own conclusion with that one because
there's no real representation that he really, because like, again, he's fighting to get the staff, because also the staff's a whole thing, but like, he's fighting to get the staff. And she's in the way. Because she doesn't want him to die. So, I love the idea of this fight. Because she doesn't want him to die. But he should be able to, like, 1-2, knock her out. I don't care if you want me to die. I'm doing it. Like,
I think it would mean more if
it
would mean more if she kept charging at him.
Yes.
And he just like boom, 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 boom. You're not able to stop me.
You know what? Yeah, this reminded me of. This reminded me of Luke Skywalker in episode 8, when Rey just like beats him in the rain, and it's like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. Hey, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You gotta put me in a bad mood today?
Bullshit. It's like,
bring that movie back up.
You need to, but it's so parallel because they're lined up in the same way. The shot is wide shot, just like it was with Luke and Rey, where it's like they're fighting and it's like a wide shot, and they're on this like thing that's like high up. I just I appreciate that she cared, but I think like again the story is, you know what bugged me as well is like, again, in the trailers, I didn't know. I had no idea what the story was going to be. Genuinely. Except the idea that I had was, they're going to build a team to fight the Chameleon. I didn't know they were looking for a new Dragon Warrior. And once I learned about that, which they just explained it, I wish, and I said this before, show don't tell. But when Shifu said it out loud, the puzzle pieces couldn't have been more clear. Like, the puzzle pieces just fucking fused. I was like, Zen's gonna show up. And, he's talking about new Dragon Warrior. And she's combative right now. Like, we know where this story's... I think everyone could see this a mile away, which is why people don't like this movie right now. It's because it's so fucking obvious. It's, like, so clear and obvious.
The movie's predictable as fuck, like, even beyond that plot point.
And again, like, the problem here is, like, Zhen was a thief, like, 24 hours ago, man. Like, whether or not she's, like, cool with you now, it's like, I understand, like, the idea of, like, it's almost like a spiritual guidance thing of, like, well, she was a thief, but now she's seen the good. It's like, I don't know if, like, I don't know if Poe is, like, Oogway level, I can see through this shit, and she's actually going to be the one. Because I don't think he can see that. Like, when they had, the whole Dragon Warrior thing was, like, annoying to me when they had him do the search, kind of like in the first movie, Like, a lot of this is a lot of rehash of the first movie. But, like, when they had him and Shifu standing in the plaza where he got nominated, and they have him do the Dragon Warrior thing, it's like, it all felt so fake, and it's like, I know that's the point. But you didn't even need to do that. You shouldn't even have needed to do that. Apparently. If his wisdom is so good, he shouldn't have needed to even do that at all. And again, it goes against the idea, he looks young. He still looks young. And he's still very childish. So, again, I still don't believe that there's a Dragon Warrior out there that's better than Poe yet.
If anything, the plot should be he's looking for the new Furious 5. Because they're missing. And, they've seen to progress beyond needing to be in the Valley of Peace.
Or with Poe at all.
Yeah. That should be, like, the new plot. He needs to find, like, a new... like new Furious 5, and that would have been a better plot because like it would have been like more of a team to focus on, more characters to focus on, and like maybe some of those some of those guys he was like that were part of that interview, they probably should have been turned into characters and brought a part of the adventure.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be, because again, we talk about like sequels that don't roll. Like that was one of the issues with Incredibles 2, where it's like they had those Fortnite heroes, where it's like, how defined are those heroes going to be, or are they just going to rush through it? And then you have heroes that aren't as good as their predecessors.
Because their characters' presence weren't really needed. We have like everyone from the first movie and the entire family. We don't have the Furious 5 in this movie, so like, hey, what's the replacement here? And their replacement is like just Aquafina and like a few scenes with those people from the underground.
Also, I don't fucking believe that this city didn't know about this, because even in Kung Fu Panda 1, the word about Tai Lung getting out got traveled by bird. So you're telling me that none of the adventures got out to this city that have happened in the Kung Fu Panda franchise? Like, I just immediately thought about that. It's like, it's fucking impossible, like that they couldn't have gotten word.
Where did the Tai Lung attack take place? Was that within the Valley of Peace?
It was in a prison that's somewhere that I don't fucking know. I thought at first that in the beginning of the movie, I thought that was the same spot at first. And then I realized, oh, these are different creatures.
Because, like, she's trying to take over the Valley of Peace. She's already there. I don't know why she's not attacking or doing some bullshit.
Well, she's not in the valley, right? She's like she's in a city, so she's not in the Valley of Peace. And again, the thing that's weird is like, so her goal...
If they know of Tai Lung, then they know of Tai Lung's defeat.
That's the thing that's weird, is they know about Tai Lung and his defeat, and they don't know about Po. It's like, if you think the Valley of Peace is easy...
They don't know what a Dragon Warrior is.
But if they know... If the Chameleon or the city knew about all of that, like... Or they didn't know... Let's say they didn't know about all of that. Then they should be making their way to the Valley of Peace like it's nothing. They should be literally just marching their way over to the Valley of Peace and then be surprised about how ready they are. And it should be the Chameleon that's up in the palace, not Jade, in the Jade Palace, not Zhen, who again, it's like, again, like I think like they just didn't want to, like I feel like this is why the old DreamWorks, like late 90s, early 2000s DreamWorks is fantastic, because like the Prince of Egypt, I wish you had seen it, because this would be a perfect parallel. Zhen is basically the woman in Prince of Egypt where, like, and she's actually, like, she's cunning, and she knows how to get around, like, a situation, and, like, she will steal shit, and she will get out. Like, there's no, like, you're not getting out, you're not getting away from this. And the only way that she can get out of a situation is maybe if a man comes in and, like, oh yeah, she's with me, it's okay, like, don't attack her. But, like, she is a serious, like, threat to, like, being a thief and taking stuff. She's a genuine thief. Like, I feel like DreamWorks pulled their punches here with Zhen's character, which makes her, unfortunately, less defined, because she's not able to fully show herself as a character, because the movie just goes with convenience. They go with conveniences, and we don't get a great backstory with her, and we get little things like the underground town, which, again, like, we hear about her past, but it's so briefly mentioned, and it's like, all right, get out of here by the morning. It's like, okay. And all we're told is, like, she's abandoned, and she's an orphan, and that, it's like, these are great parallels to Po, but that doesn't mean she's the next Dragon Warrior. And again, like, the idea that it's the Chameleon that trained her, it's like, make her more hard, man. I'm dead fucking serious. Make her, like, she left this family that was in the underground, that was protecting her. And then, almost like Thanos, she gets taken by the Chameleon and trained to be this ruthless motherfucker. If you made her a little sharper, that's a character. And, like, maybe by the end of the movie, maybe she's a little bit ready to be a part of it. But, like, the ease of that conflict of, like, now I'm with Po. It's like, that's too easy. Sorry, that's too easy. I can't fucking believe this. Like, you made a dollar store movie here. with the writing of this.
And also, we found out the Chameleon doesn't know Kung Fu. She doesn't really have any skills of her own. That's why she has to still.
She has to copy paste. She has to go to a copy.
Where does her Zen skill come from? Like, she's already sneaky. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But like, she shouldn't have any combat skills, especially compared to Poe.
I mean, I can understand that she has combat skills, but she doesn't have Kung Fu combat skills. So they should have shown her fighting. I wish we saw. Did we see her ever fighting? But no, she's just neat. She has in the beginning the Joker movie, right? The Joker movie scene where she walks into that table with the other guys, and she's like, "I want my money" or whatever, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, but we don't see her like fight. I think, do we? Like, in the beginning, does she fight like she doesn't know Kung Fu? Like, I wish there was, like, maybe she uses some different form. But I think they just didn't think about this at that level.
I mean, she fights Poe at the end.
Right. But
I think she puts up a fight when she's, like, escaping in the museum when she's trying to rob it.
Museum.
Okay. Where they keep all the...
The Jade Palace?
The Jade Palace. I forgot how else you got. Yeah, where she was robbed in the beginning.
No, that's Zen.
Oh fuck, we were talking about different things.
I'm saying the Chameleon. Like, do we see the Chameleon in the beginning?
No. Okay, so here's the thing. Every review brought this up. The most frightening thing she does in the movie is before like she steals chi is she pushes the guy. She transforms into an elephant and pushes the guys downstairs. That's it. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Other than that, she does jack shit except look threatening.
And again, like that's...
And like her, okay, so...
And like, I wish, again, if you're going to use the name Chameleon, and you have this character that can do so much, they do so little with a character like that's a chameleon. Like, that's the threat. The threat is she is a fucking chameleon and can clearly be a serious, like, problem.
Okay, so there's so many routes this movie could have gone. Like, my brain just keeps, like, making constant better drafts than what this movie could have had.
Yeah.
So here's one of them. Like we shouldn't know. Like the premise should all of Poe's foes are coming back, and like we don't know where they're coming from or how they're getting here or how they're coming back to life. But all of Poe's foes are coming back. They're causing havoc, and like we don't know what's going on. And then we find out later it's a shapeshifter. Until like much later.
Yeah, like it reminds me. You know what that
and like you also have some people, other people, like even good guys coming back out of nowhere, and it's like trying to assist Poe and lead him in the wrong direction, seemingly. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I think that would be great. It also, what's great about that idea is it reminds me of the first movie. There was a lot of fear and mystique and like anxiousness about Tai Lung's return, and I love how the movie sets that up. You know what I mean? Like Tai Lung's return in the first movie, it's like this guy's coming back. This guy's coming. Like there's like a
he's already escaped prison. There's this like shit.
There's this air of fear around the town. Like you know, like just his name brings this anxiety to the movie, and it's beautiful how they execute that.
I mean, I can gush forever about the first movie, but like, it's like you're just like, okay, he's just a big bad villain.
Yeah.
And then like when they first talk about him, and then like they just show no, he's locked up, and it's like okay, and then they show the whole prison break sequence.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, he did that all because of Feather Fell.
Yeah.
And then like, and it's like he escapes prison, and it's like the whole movie is like. He's coming. Oh lordy, he's coming.
And again, there was a genuine beauty in the fear of like the Furious Five can like you know as an audience member they're not going to beat him because obviously it's going to be Poe's fight in the end. But they can hold him, right? Like they can hold him. No, they can't hold him. And it's the bridge fight is one of my favorite of all time.
I know you hope they can do something.
You hope
because there's 5 of them. Like it hasn't been his score like. They established that they never fought him before, because, like, they established that, like, Tai Lung was before the Furious Five's time.
Yes.
So they never fought him at once, so you hope they can do something.
Yep.
But, like, cause a dent. They don't touch this man at all.
Not at all.
That fucking bridge fight is fucking awesome. I saw a clip of that, like, on, like, one of the reviews for Kung Fu Panda 4, and I'm like, god damn, I need to watch these movies again. But, like, going back to, like, Chameleon, it's, like, it should have been a plot, but, like, it should have just been Among Us. Where it's like, all these foes are coming back out of nowhere, and like some of the good people Poe know are leading him in the wrong direction. What the fuck is going on? And then like you find out it's a chameleon.
Yeah.
Or like another plot is
so before you say your other plot, I mentioned I want to drop my plot as well.
Okay.
I talked about this on the wall.
DreamWorks. If you're hiring.
Yeah, but I also talked about this in the trailer. When the trailer came out, I was like, this chameleon concept, or before the movie came out, or we watched the movie. I mean, I was like, I would love if it was. Because we were wondering where the Furious 5 was. I was like, I would have rather had a movie where, the Furious 5 and Poe, it's like they have to go to this location. They're called for assistance. Maybe it's the chameleon to go to this place, and it's the Furious 5, and they're all being like they all split off, kind of like in a Scooby-Doo show. Essentially, they all split off, and each of the Furious 5 is like dealing with this thing, like the chameleons. Wrapping back into their mind some reference in their past that caused extreme trauma. And they have to get through that trauma, and then they interact with another man. And Poe comes in every time they solve it, and they don't know if Poe's real or not. But Poe tries to fight them from snap them out of this fear of this trauma that kind of like if you remember when in Spider-Man No Way Home, not No Way Home, Far From Home, when Mysterio does this really good job of making Tom Holland's character, Peter Parker, really just nervous about even trusting Nick Fury, and like you just don't know what's real for a few seconds. It's like
I love that part because like you think it's over when like Nick Fury shots him. Even the eyes was cheering like yes,
yeah,
and it's like okay, who else knows?
And then the audience went oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
but that type of energy is what I wish there was, and then they all at the end fight the chameleon. Because I think that just builds the bond. Like, by the end of the movie, what are you doing? You're building the bond stronger with the Furious 5 and Poe. You're giving us a little more backstory on top of, like, the history of the Furious 5. Some people still haven't seen that DVD of the Legend of the Furious 5, so you could tie into that a little bit.
It's fucking good. There's another short, a 2D short where, I forgot what it's called, but I think it's Secrets of the Furious 5.
Yes.
That really fucking good where, because, it shows you how, Poe is,
That's what I mean, Secrets of the Furious 5.
Yeah, it was fated, he was fated to work with the Furious 5 because, he accidentally gets them together.
Right.
You saw that one?
The inadvertent, boom here, boom here, yeah.
Yeah, because he has, he makes a list of, possible careers he can have.
Yeah.
And then Tigress makes a list of, people she's supposed to get. And their list got swapped by accident. And Tigress is looking for a comedian. She's looking for a prankster. And she's supposed to get all these different Kung Fu masters. Yeah. But instead she gets these low grade people. And it's it turns out they can be good at fighting when their skills come together.
Yeah. And again, I still think a Tigress soul. I said this when Kung Fu Panda 3 was announced. I said this way back. I was like, a Tigress solo movie would be better than, I don't give a fuck. I think that would have been way better if you execute it right. Because there's so much more to that character.
Furious 5 solo movie in general. Just there's enough there. There's enough there to work with.
I have no idea why they went.
Fuck, it even had to take place in the past. You know what? Give me, the Lion King 1.5. What are they doing right now? What are they up to?
Yeah.
Just give me that side of the story. That should have been a B plot.
Absolutely.
Instead of we got Poe and Poe's two dads.
That was again when you talk about. It feels like they didn't know. It feels like they didn't know how to fucking fill 90 minutes because they go back to this so many goddamn times. It's like, why is this the other half of this story? Why is this 20 to 30 minutes of this movie is just antics of gay dads? And it's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if they're nervous. We got past this. Didn't we get past this in the first movie when it's Dad, I am when Poe's Dad, I am this is me now, and I'm this. I thought we were past this shit. I don't care.
The third movie, because Poe's a freaking Kung Fu master.
But it's I don't give a fuck if they're nervous.
Normally they wouldn't go find Poe on his adventure, but
now we do, and it's it's all important.
They haven't followed Poe on any adventure before.
No. So again, it's it was super irrelevant.
And at this point, I'd rather have them flesh out a movie where it's it's just about them two. Poe's on
Hobbs and Shaw, basically.
Yeah, it's just about Poe going on this mysterious journey. We don't see Poe until the very end, but like it's just about those two like going through. It's just a wacky comedy, a wacky spin-off movie of those two just going through like the Valley of Peace or like whatever place, and you're trying to find Poe.
It's not a bad idea. It's better than what we got, which is just you know.
My other plot is like there is
because because the 30 minutes, not to interrupt, but the 30 minutes could have just been more used to literally flesh out Zhen. That's it. Like, just use those 30 minutes to give us more about this character that's apparently going to be the next Dragon Warrior. Because the Dragon Warrior that we have now, or we did have, the new spiritual leader, the Dragon Warrior Poe, we had a whole movie to learn about him. And then a little bit was about, and then like what, 40%, it was like 60% Poe, 40% Furious 5, and Tai Lung. So we had a majority of time to learn about
Poe. Also, all interesting, like, A and B plots. A, B, and C plots.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. Like, why is it, like, this, I just want to make sure we do say, for the fact here, Awkwafina is not the problem. We were all like, it's going to be Awkwafina, and what the fuck is this character? Awkwafina's character, Zhen, is not the problem in this movie. Which is insane to think about. Her character is just not developed enough to get to the point where she switches out that quickly from the Chameleon, who apparently they've trained her so quick. Like, it's too quick of a switch, and you haven't developed her. That's the problem with this movie. Like, she's actually a very potentially interesting character who deserves more time. That's it. That's my problem. Like, that's one of my key problems.
Oh, yeah, like, my other plot is, like, I don't think there should have been a Zhen, or a real Zhen. It should have just been a Chameleon. And then, like, you find out by the end of the movie, Zhen was just a chameleon the whole time. But, while Poe's fighting her, like, he has her remember, like, everything good she's been doing. And, like, she kind of gets converted to good. But, like, you got to rewrite the Chameleon a little bit to make her more or less of a...
I think you have to boot her to the spirit realm. I'm sorry. I think you have to boot her to the spirit realm. I don't.
Or that too. I think it's just been more interesting if like Poe's partner the whole time was the Chameleon.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think there's a lot of more interesting directions. I think that's a good one, but I think there's a lot of, there's a whole journey to get to the city that I think takes way too long. They do, by the way, when you talk about generic plot lines, they do the whole. We just saw Tangled, and we just saw fucking so many other like movies that have done this time and time again. You go to the rough and tumble bullshit tavern, and you have a whole little thing that takes 10 minutes out of your runtime.
I'll give it an interesting concept.
It's an interesting concept, but like we're talking about like building the next Dragon Warrior, and there's not like the movie doesn't stop. I mean, when you talk about Kung Fu Panda 1 does not just stop. It doesn't just stop and just everything is important, every piece of it. But
doesn't stop either.
But when the fourth movie comes in, it just feels like why are we stopped? Okay. Like, but we need to get here. Apparently, this is very important.
I know it's like the B plot of like the two dads are getting in the way.
Yes.
And it's like okay, we have to get through because like it's not very interesting. It's not adding much to the movie. It's not revealing anything.
No.
It's just telling you like how they're getting there, and it's like we don't even need that because these are like comic relief characters. So if we just get the scene where they're just where they're leaving the Valley of Peace, and then we don't see them until the end, that wouldn't really bother me because they're comic relief characters. They just got here.
Yeah.
Like they found some bullshit way to get here. They found their own way. I don't need that much of an explanation.
No. Yeah, it's, yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. There's some weird editing notes here where it's like, I think they introduced the city like 3 fucking times, where like they're like Poe is walking with Zhen, or Zhen's on his shoulders, and she's like, there it is, the city, like, and they're up on a mountain. And then they're on a boat, and she's like, just past this fog is the city, or they're like, you'll be in the city soon or something like that. It'll be something in the city. Like, basically, like, you can tell the city's not far. And then they say, and then for the third time, it's like, here it is, something city. And, like, she reveals it, and for some reason...
The city of Townsville.
Right. But for some reason, like, they edit it in a way where the boat hasn't cleared this bridge. So she reveals it, and then the bridge is still in the way of the city, and you have to wait another, like, 15 to 20 seconds before it's like, now everything's out of the way and we can actually see it. I don't know what the fuck that's about. But yeah, it's weird. Weird editing on that one. But
if you saw the 3D version, you can probably move your head around.
Yeah, just get past the shadow of the bridge before. Yeah. I'd also think, like, this is the least interesting setting ever for Kung Fu. Like, I know Kung Fu Panda, actually 3 didn't have anything distinctive, but, like, when I think of, like, when they set up the first movie, The Valley of Peace, the Jade Palace, very distinctive. The second movie, the city there, it's like, it has this critical thing in the middle, this awesome, like, structure that's, like, very specific and very, like, and then when it collapses into the city, it's, like, very interesting, very cool, very, like, distinctive moment. Here, it's, like, very forgettable town, very, like, Zootopia-esque, but with Chinese infrastructure design.
There was a setting in Kung Fu Panda 2 that felt way more active than this, and it was a scene where they're, like, fighting through inside the dragon.
That's what I'm saying. The town, that entire city in Kung Fu Panda 2.
Oh yeah.
And like, it's all very distinctive, but here it's just like, wow. Like, I think they just kind of said, what if we just made a basic city? Maybe the budget played a part of that, where it's like, we don't have enough to go and make something distinctive.
Bullshit. But they have assets.
They do, but it's like...
Plenty.
Yes, but it's like, if it was this tough, why not make it even a small town? I don't know. Like, it could have been a small town, again. It doesn't need to be a big city, but the big city thing, like, it's fine, but all it was there to do was to make Poe shocked, which, again, Poe shouldn't be shocked. He should be in a big city by now. He was in a big city in 2. So none of this should be like, wow, I'm surprised that the big city's like this. Like, he's, like, very shocked, as if 2 didn't have, like, this grand city. And then the other thing was, it was there to introduce the underground and these other characters that are basically not significantly relevant.
I'm not like, the trailer made them look like they were going to be
the new cast.
Yeah, they were going to be like we're going to have to get a team of our own, and, like, he didn't get a team. She just knows a couple people that don't show up until the end.
And again, that's a movie that's not a part of this movie. That's a movie where, if you were to develop her, you develop that core section of, like, this is a tough city, this is a tough place, and, you know, again, like, I really think the idea of, like, Zen coming from this place that's, like, deep in the underground, very poor, but, like, they're struggling, and then, like, this empress, like, person, like, just because Zen is just too eager to do what she's been taught to do, she goes, and then the empress, the Chameleon, obviously takes her, of all people, like, and then trains her, hardens her, and she's a super hardened character, almost like opposite Tigress, where it's like Tigress is hardened, but in the positive way. And but instead, it's like, she's always conflicted. She's never, like, she's like, from the minute Poe, like the minute Poe shows niceness, it's like, has she never seen fucking that? Haven't you been on more missions than this? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, it's just not a good character. Like, because, again, I talked about this in so many Disney Plus series. I think even Secret Invasion has this fucking issue, where you centralize on this young girl that's conflicted, and it's like, that's the easiest fucking plot. It's just the conflicted character that is with the bad guys and then goes to the good guys. That's, like, the easiest fucking plot. And I think the bad guys obviously does it better. Like, it's because it's, like, the way they set it up, it's much better, and the way that it's neutralized in the bad guys is much better. But, like, that idea, if you're gonna do it, please flesh it out. But also, it's like, it's so undercooked here, because her character, I think, could be better. Like, if you want, like, the way that characters become sort of timeless and become remembered for all of time, and when you were talking about her becoming the next Dragon Warrior, it's developing that character from being, like, this hardened person. Like, if you were to set her up to be that tough, she could essentially be that Tai Lung level threat of like, I am this tough, and I'm not giving in at all. I believe everything that my fucking master taught me, and you're gonna have to do a lot to change that. And again, by the end, it could be a cliffhanger. You could have a cliffhanger. You could have something where she acknowledges that Poe is better. Poe beats her. He takes the staff, and that's the end of the movie. But you can get a sense that by the next movie, she is at least acknowledging that, like, oh, she's got this new way of doing things, or a different way of doing things. So that by maybe Kung Fu Panda 5 or whatever movie that is, 5 or 6 or something, it's like if you do a roadmap, a true roadmap, later on in the franchise, then she is ready to be the Dragon Warrior. Then Poe is older.
Yeah, kind of developed her own type of style. Yeah. Which was Poe's arc in the first movie.
Yes.
Because like he developed Panda style.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the pain of this movie. It's like the Chameleon's so undercooked too. Like you were pissed and I was pissed about that fight at the end, which is so convenient.
All right, so just going back real quick. My problem with the whole underground people is like they're not really
people either.
They're not really people. They're not really because like they have some cool designs. I love the design of that armadillo guy.
Yeah,
that is armadillo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he,
the guy with the hat, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I love how he rolls around to like as an exit. It like he laughs and rolls around. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like, they're not developed. We don't have like much sympathetic like moments with them, or like we see the backstory. We don't get to know how they don't really talk to Zhen that much, except for like when she's trying to negotiate to have him stay there for the night.
Yes.
And like there's not much with these people. They're just like jokes, like the joke with the cute bunnies that turn savage. That's like I've seen that somewhere before. It's an old joke. It's
everywhere.
Like it's this cute little small thing. It's not gonna do anything. Oh God, it's doing something.
Yeah.
It's like it's a tired joke. And it's there was another lame joke down there where like these monkeys are trying to steal Poe's pants, and then like and they do.
Yep.
Aquafina should have been like, "Hey Poe, your dick's out."
Now I see why you're called the Dragon.
What?
Ooh. Yeah. But no, it's I again that whole underground, because it's like all I see in this setting is potential, and the problem is you made the city that's like too big for the set. It's too big for the story you're trying to create.
They try to have an Avengers Endgame moment at the end where like all the people from the underground show up, and it's like I still feel nothing.
I don't know anything about them, so I don't care. Yeah. The other thing about it is you were talking earlier about obviously the Chameleon and her lack of skill, and so she pulls out all these fucking evil characters. One of them being Tai Lung.
Which is probably the only voice actor they fucking got back.
So I said this. So where's my thing? So I said here we go. I said this during what's up?
Oh, I just fixed
all good.
My interface. I have to.
Just want to make sure everything's good on your end.
Yeah, no, it is.
Oh, good.
Because my thing's delayed. I have to switch that.
All right.
We're so good. We're so recording everything.
Awesome. So yeah, like I said this, like this is one of the first things I noticed when we stepped out of the theater. I was like, man, like this movie changes when Tai Lung gets some dialogue and he steps out, because like suddenly the movie feels like it has much more value, and it's not just because he's a valuable like villain. It's because he's like actually got presence. You know how much of a threat he is. You know, like the voice delivery, like everything about him is so much more valuable.
It gets to a point where he's like watching the movie with us. He's
like a commentary.
Yeah, he's doing commentary. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Yeah. Look at these. What are those? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. And
look at this fat ass panda fighting. Like,
and he's like saying shit. He's like egging him on. Like, I guess
I don't know what I'm rooting for.
I don't know why they even picked you.
Like he has such a good. It made me wish the entire movie was just about Tai Lung's return.
Well, yeah, because his voice actor's too good. He's too cool. This guy's too cool. I want to watch Kung Fu Panda 4 times now because his voice acting. I don't think it's gonna be about him. Yeah, like because the Chameleon feels so dude, I swear to God, when he comes in, the Chameleon feels like a fucking piece of cardboard.
The Chameleon should have just been Tai Lung the whole time and pretending to be Tai Lung the whole time. And then, like, near the... Only a few times in the movie she turns back into the Chameleon. But then, like, I'm going to turn back into Tai Lung because everyone thinks I'm Tai Lung. So, and that's the biggest threat I can do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. When they needed help, when Poe needed help, I was hoping the Furious 5 was going to pop in there. Because it was, like, so obvious, like, that there was going to be an Avengers moment. And I was like...
It would have been unearned. It would have just been out of nowhere, honestly.
Well, it would have been, like... It would have been kind of cute of, like, maybe, like, Tigress said, like... Yeah, we wanted to make a... Or maybe, like, Jackie Chan's, what is he, Crane or something?
The monkey. Jackie Chan's a monkey.
Like,
Crane is a fucking...
We wanted to make an awesome entrance.
Crane is... No, wait, no, that's not Crane. Crane is a fucking mantis.
Yeah. But he's like... But yeah, Monkey's like, we wanted to make a grand entrance. Like... And maybe Tigress...
And Seth Rogen would be like...
Yeah. And then, like, Tigress is just like, you know, like...
I saw Seth Rogen.
Yeah, then, but Tigress is just like, we've been keeping track of you the whole time. And, like, only when things were getting serious, which still would have been like, why weren't you helping him when it was really bad? But at least it would be something of like, yeah, the Furious 5 actually care about this critical thing that's happening. But it kind of shows how not valuable this movie is when the Furious 5 aren't in it. Because, like, that's the threat. The threat is when you need everyone. That's kind of like when you know it's an important thing. And when it's just Poe and his now new acquaintance that apparently now has turned so quickly, like, it doesn't feel... I don't feel anything. But again, when Tai Lung came in, it's like, that's when I felt something. And
yeah, get the Furious 5 until the end. Here's the Furious 5 without the voice actors we didn't pay for.
With the poster moment.
Yeah.
It looked like there was just an interactive poster. I'm gonna, like, they don't say anything and they're training her now. Again, I fucking hate that ending. But, yeah.
I will, like, guilty pleasure, I do like Jack Black's cover, Hit Me Baby One More Time. That was funny.
Oh, yeah, no, that was smooth. Yeah, that was,
baby, one more time.
Yeah.
Like, Jack Black saying that is funny. Initial D is just good in general. I mean, not fucking...
Initial
Why
D.
I say Tenacious D? Fuck!
Oh, yeah.
Tenacious D.
Yeah, I was like, what are you...
It's because of the D. It's because of the fucking... Everyone wants the D. But, like, Tenacious D, they're good shit, usually.
Yeah, I was like, what the... yeah, but no, it's cool.
Why are you talking about anime?
Yeah. And it probably cut back on the cost of, like, adding another theme or something in there, or some other person singing it, obviously.
I think Jack Black just wanted to sing fucking Hit Me Baby.
Yeah, no, he did.
I think that's...
this is the guy that did the Bowser, last year. This time last year.
Bitches, beaches.
Yeah.
Bitches. Like, it's like so much short. Like, it sounds like he's saying it. Bitches, oh, bitches.
Yeah, outside of, I think we've talked about quite a lot. I just think, yeah, that whole moment where it's like all of the villains are together, it also just kind of, like, it kind of sucked. Just like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking... Again, there was a lot of convenience in that final fight. I want to make sure I remind myself about everything here. A lot of convenience in that final fight. Like, we're talking about including, like, obviously she just copy-pastes all the movesets, but also... the writers knew, like, well, this would be a little too difficult for the runtime that we want to keep it. So, what if we just made her a very easily defeatable villain by turning her into, like, this dragon thing that's too big?
I hate that.
And
I thought it was cool.
It's an immobile, shitty version of herself that anyone with common sense would never switch to. Like, no one would switch to that at all, ever, in the history of mankind.
That's a video game final boss. That's like the same thing of the Joker in the first Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Because the Joker is a cool villain. He's all about trickery, and throughout the entire game, Joker is just like leaving all these traps, like, or leading Batman to, like, places where, like, the villains can fuck him up. And, like, the final boss of Arkham Asylum is Joker turning into a fucking brute. And it's like, no, Joker's not like a punchy, beat you to the ground brute. He's a man of trickery, and he uses his mind. So this is, like, the most non-Joker thing you can, like, make him do.
Yes. And that's why, again, like, you talk about, like, the Chameleon feels very calculated, very strategic.
Like,
but then you get this moment, and it just, like, this is why, again, this is the type of thing that's perfect for a series, because even this generic story, like, if you were to keep it this type of generic structure, this could have been fleshed out more. This generic ass structure. But if you're going to make it a film, You could just change it completely.
Okay, so like she pretty much when she gets all the chi, she pretty much becomes Kirby from Super Smash Brothers, and she's like, I got everyone's special move. She like abuses, keeps spamming Tai Lung's fucking nerve move.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, so this is cool, and like we get the fight where she like is transformed between all of them, and it's like, okay, keep up that, and like she transforms into a giant monster, and like would have been cool is like again like Kirby from Smash Brothers, she just like. She just decides, like, I don't even need to fucking transform anymore. I just have all their moves. And she just starts kicking ass in, like, her form as she is. Even though she's smaller and skinnier than Poe. It's like, yeah. She's just entirely untouchable.
Entirely untouchable. One other, that reminds me of another connection to Secret Invasion. Do you remember at the end, she gets the Drax arm, and, that was convenient. That was very, like, yeah. Yeah, did that make sense? No. Does it have to make sense? No. Is Mark falling down through the window? Yes.
My crunchy window. I dented my fucking window now.
Yeah. But
shut up.
But yeah, like it's one of those things where they're trying. It's like Spider-Man 3, the Raimi films, where it's like they wanted to do Sandman, they wanted to do Venom, they wanted to do Green Goblin. It's like pick a lane. This movie just does too fucking much. And it's like, they wanted to do the fucking, they wanted to do the Chameleon, they wanted to do Zen, they want to do the fucking gay parent role. It's like, what the fuck? You don't even need the other one. You don't even need the third one.
The funny part is they're not gay, they're just dads that happen to live together.
I feel like they were coding it that way. It seemed like they were coding it.
They're two dads, but like, they're not, they could be coded, I don't know.
I don't know, it seemed like
didn't feel gay to me. They were like, two bros hanging out, but they're deciding to be Poe's dads.
I don't know. I feel like one was being very, like, not, like, one was being very confident, and then the other was not, and then the other was being it felt like very much in the...
there's the deleted, like, kiss scene that got, like, that got leaked online.
Oh, good. I'm glad you watched.
They showed tongue and stuff.
Good. It sounds like...
I think they both, like, started grinding each other. It got weird. That's why I can see, like, I can see why I had to take it from... Like, it kind of ruined the pacing. It wasn't a bad scene, but it kind of ruined the pacing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I just... man, I wish this were better. And we've talked, obviously, for quite a while now about just what we would have adjusted, what should have been adjusted. But these are things where you think about, like, I'm disappointed because... Whether it's, whether we're talking about, like, Incredibles 2 or even, like, Frozen 2 or Finding Dory or, usually DreamWorks is really good, or Shrek the Third, which gets fixed by the fourth movie, obviously. You have features where it's, like, just, why are you going the convenient route? Why are you... And this isn't even convenient. This is just kind of lazy. Because convenient would be still writing it efficiently. Why, you want to jump in immediately, make her the Dragon Warrior. Why? Like, what? Did no one ask that question? Like, why?
I feel like a successor was already, like, they already had, like, a plot line focused on successor with the fucking Amazon Prime show with those little kids. Poe is like the
training them to be
yeah. Like I haven't seen a show, so he's training them to be like the next something. But like they have their own like weapons and shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're. He's already teaching a future.
Yeah, and again, that didn't seem to tie in at all to this movie. So
there was like villains I don't know of. I wonder if they're like either like background villains from the movie or like I'm curious to look up if there are any villains from the show. Like
I'm sure.
Maybe I gotta look up. Maybe there's an Easter egg video that like did the research. I'm too lazy to do.
29 Easter eggs from Kung Fu
Panda. You missed. Did you know that Poe is from Kung Fu Panda 1? This is a reference from Kung Fu Panda. Did you know Shifu's in the movie? This is a reference to Kung Fu Panda 1.
The Jade Temple is actually from Kung Fu.
In this scene, Poe says Skadoosh. The first time he says Skadoosh, it's a reference to Kung Fu Panda 1.
Did you know the pants Poe are wearing are the exact same pants he's worn since Kung Fu Panda 1?
Did you know Poe's eating noodles? This is a reference to Chinese lore.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just, again, like, sort of just to wrap up the overall thing again. Not to keep repeating myself. I want to make sure I'm not doing that.
Okay, can we talk about the fucking staff is like a fucking magical MacGuffin that activates whenever it fucking wants to. It's only used once in a bar, and then the ending.
Yeah. And
it's like, it's just like the all-powerful chi staff, and we don't know how powerful that chi blast is, but like, you know, he hits it with mooks from a bar.
Yeah.
But like, they're weak-ass mooks. Poe can take them down easily. But it doesn't get used again until like the very end. And it's like, the fucking, Zen is using it, and also Chameleon's just fucking standing there.
Just standing
like,
there.
What the fuck you gonna do? You're gonna shoot some chi out of the staff or some shit? You ain't gonna do shit. And like, fucking G shoots out of the staff, and it's like, oh, BOOM!
Yep.
And that was it. And then like Poe's like, yeah, I can get out of that cage the whole time. I just wanted to see you like pull some moves. You could have died, but I had faith in you. I knew you can do it.
No.
Oh wait, hold on. We'll finish this conversation later. Hold on. BAM! All right, where were we?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. What made make your villain for the whole movie seem very threatening. It's like the easiest way to do the opposite, you know. I don't know what the decision making was here, because it seems very illogical to make your villain seem that weak at the end. But again, like having Poe forcibly drag an entire item along with him when he never really needed to drag any items along with him is a very.
I guess
weird
so. It doesn't
choice.
get stolen, but like it doesn't get much.
But
use.
he's with Zen. That's the thing that, like, he's with her. That was the one that was stealing it.
But I think we learned of somebody else who wants it. I don't know. Fuck.
Then get one of those people that were supposed to be the Dragon Warrior to do some fucking security. I don't know. This movie just, you know.
Isn't like also stealing chi? That's like the same plot line as 3. The fucking Ox was just like stealing chi from everybody.
Yeah.
Even from the Spirit Realm. I think he stole chi from fucking Ugle and shit.
I don't know, but I don't recall too much, but I believe so. But
yeah, because he stole Ugle. He just he took chi from people in the fucking. It's a rehash of 3.
Yeah.
The Ox should have been like talking like, that's my thing. You fucking stole my plot from the 3rd movie, you piece of shit.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think the whole idea, this bold fucking idea, the Chameleon wants to go to the fucking Valley Piece. Again, this is what doesn't make sense.
Can't you still cheat from anyone who's living? Can't you just do the same thing Ox is doing?
The thing that's annoying is, again, it's like, so she knows the Valley Piece, we talked about this, she knows the Valley Pieces, but she doesn't know anything about who's there, apparently, except for fucking Shifu, apparently. But, like, again, I think the fight would have been so much better if you just had it in the Valley of Peace. Because that's like the true setting. When you're fighting in this random boring ass fucking
Bowser's Castle.
Thank you. Like it makes the setting even more boring. And it doesn't help that it's like nighttime.
I don't care for anything that's like, you don't care for anything that's being destroyed, you don't care for anything that's property damage, because like you don't.
Yeah, because
it's just Bowser's Castle.
We're probably not
destroy as much of it as you want.
We're not going to revisit this again unless there's going to be a series that spends that you know. Zen's
well, even then we won't care. We don't care for that series.
Yeah. So let's talk about the future. I think it's the future of Kung Fu Panda. I think it's tough because apparently you want her to be the new draft, and I think again this is why writing drafts and like fucking talking to people before you fucking make the script is a great idea. Like, because now it's like, okay, like, you could call it Kung Fu Panda 5, sure, but it's not Poe's movie. And this shouldn't be, we talked about this outside the theater.
Here's something,
but we talked about this outside the theater. This shouldn't even have been Poe's movie. So, like, what the fuck are you gonna call this? Like, Zen's Adventure? Like, again, like, I don't know.
I think I heard somewhere, like, this movie was being developed during the writer's strike, and a lot of the writers weren't present for this movie. And, like, they just kind of let the animators, like, do their thing. And it's, like, it's mostly a movie focused on, like, the animators, like, what the animators are trying to do.
Right. That doesn't seem like they wanted to do much then. That sounds like a little bit of an insult. I don't know. That just sounds like an insult. Like, hey, animators, you suck at writing. That's what it sounds like they're saying. Because if I were to say that, that's like, Well, I was gonna take out the trash, but I told Mark to do it, and there's still dog shit sitting at the door. So I don't know why you guys are looking at me. I wasn't here. Like that's the type of shit that it sounds like the writers are saying about the animators. Like, you know, so like,
Do we have some of the fucking writers from the other movies?
yeah, like I said, the screenwriters wrote 1 through 3. There are 2 screenwriters that wrote. 1 through 3. Yeah.
Do you think they wrote on some of the shows too? Because maybe they're getting fatigued with the panda.
I don't.
If they wrote on some of the shows, that probably explains it. It's like we've been writing so much Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, well, again, John Abel Glenberger directed Kung Fu Panda 1 through 3, so, you know. Darren Lemke, I believe, directed some other stuff, but, you know, those were those 2. And again, I just, you know, if you know that much about the franchise, it's like, I just don't know how you slipped that bad. I understand the writer's strike happened. I do not understand, though, like, Sony was comfortable moving their movie down. It's Kung Fu Panda. I would have moved this shit to... If this was the fucking thing, I would have moved this movie to fucking summer.
Oh, they wanted to do Kung Fu Panda 4. Sony wanted to... You saying Sony wanted to move this movie down?
No, I'm saying that Sony was like after all the pressure of like asking, hey, when is this release date? You guys say it's 2024 for Spider-Verse 3. And they comfortably said, oh yeah, like this is not coming out anymore this year. Like they were comfortable with saying that. But this, like, if the movie is in a state where the writing is that bad, I know the problem is obviously you have to have the writing done so that you can do the dialogue, and then the dialogue has to be done so that the animators can animate. So they were basically stuck in a situation where they couldn't have waited that long.
You know why? Because I'm not gonna say because I don't think the writing is bad. It's just mediocre. It's just predictable. It's just unoriginal.
Yeah, I think that's
so. It's usable. That's it. So that's why they still went with it. If the writing was actually bad and unusable,
yeah,
that will be the problem. But like, you know, executives don't fucking know what a good movie is. They just know what like how to sell shit, and it's like, oh, this is like the same shit we see everywhere. This is what people want. So like, yeah, let's just sell it.
Fair. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of normies. Like you persuaded me. There probably will be a lot of normies that go and see Kung Fu Panda 4. I still hold on to the idea that I think that the word of mouth is so significant that I think that this will take a massive chunk out of Kung Fu Panda's potential success. Like if they were speaking about, look, we talked about Elemental making $200 million when it had a terrible opening weekend, and that was all word of mouth. Like if that movie was bad, it would have lost money. Instead, it came out with $400 million in the end and actually broke even. Kung Fu Panda 4 has such a negative following right now that I think whether, like, normies will see this, yes. And it's so cheap that it will make at least its money back. I think it'll still make $200 million at least. But this could have been probably a $750, $800 million hit if it was actually like that good. People would
on a repeat show.
Like, people would have went to see it again and brought their friends and shit and said, "Hey, check this out. We got to see this again. Wow, this really ended the franchise well. And wow, look at this fight scene. And this is good."
It's hard to say there's going to be a drop off because like it came out around a good time. Even though you say Ghostbusters is coming out next in the next week, it's still like the only animated movie like in a while. And Kung Fu Panda in general is still a good IP, and also because of that fucking Netflix show, it's still a relevant IP that has previous use, and like it looks like a good animated movie from the trailers. It like not like to us fans, it looks skeptical. From a normie, it looks like it's just a good old animated movie. So like it's hard to say if it's gonna drop off or not because like a lot of normies, it probably catch a lot of attention. Yeah. If I didn't see Kung Fu Panda 1 through 3 and I saw this, it's like. I don't have a busy weekend. I have time to go to the theater. I'm gonna see this. This looks like a fun animated movie.
I mean, again, we saw this on opening.
It hurts me to say that, knowing what this movie is. But yes.
Yeah, so the next real movie that's animated that faces off against it is Garfield. That doesn't come out for another...
Garfield!
That doesn't come out for another 2 months. So that's a long time. You know.
Garfield is the complete draft to Kung Fu Panda 4. Do not ruin it.
I mean... Oh my god.
I'm leaving it right here on the table.
Just want to make sure here. Yeah, and then Inside Out 2, June. So, yeah, again, they... Look, well, I talked about this back in the day on my channel. Like, Lego Ninjago, the movie, was not... Again, that was another one that was not accepted by the fan base. The fan base thought, this is fine. This isn't even... This isn't good at all. This doesn't fit with the franchise of Lego Ninjago.
Fucking the fans of the Lego movies are like, this doesn't fit with the Lego movies.
Right. And so, like, that... It had a fine weekend, but by the way, it had a 2-month window as well, just like Kung Fu Panda does now. Lego Ninjago had a 2-month window where there was no competition until, was it the My Little Pony movie or some shit? No, My Little Pony came out earlier, I believe.
So something.
But, like, there was some other movie that came out that wouldn't, and it's like, that's its closest competition. So if this movie doesn't do it, that's a massive hit. That's a massive, like, wow, we really fucked up here. Because there's not going to be a better time. Like, again, this time last year, the Mario movie made $1 billion. Like, because there was no competition. So it just ate, kept eating. This movie should be able to do the same thing, just keep eating until May. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Again, I just wish that Zhen wasn't undercooked. I wish that the Chameleon was not undercooked.
I wish the whole movie was undercooked.
The whole movie. I wish the Furious 5 were more involved because they are critical. And I wish that this did not leave such a stain on the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Do you have any final thoughts, Mark?
I hope this doesn't leave a stain on the franchise. I just don't think this movie just need to exist. Or if it did, it should have just been like, one of those, a Netflix special or Amazon Prime special, like a straight to streaming special. It's like the conclusion to like the Dragon Knight or whatever bullshit that Netflix show was that I never watched. Because it feels like a straight to. This feels like this could have been the plot to a straight to streaming special. I mean, because the animation, the budget, it doesn't feel like one. But in terms of the writing and definitely the pacing, feels like one.
Yes. Alright guys, this has been the ScreenBlast podcast. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas, you can send them right here to ScreenBlastPodcast@gmail.com. Of course, as we talked about earlier in the pod, you can obviously always check out the rest of the ScreenBlast lineup. Obviously, you've got Blasting Double Reports, our video game-centric podcast. Ooh. Video game-centric podcast. We've got Cartoon Chat, our animation conversation. Then Mark and Bryan have a cow.
It's okay.
Our casual, meme-fied conversation where we sit back and chill and enjoy. And all of that, again, over at the ScreenBlast Society on YouTube or ScreenBlast Podcast.
ScreenBlast doesn't exist anymore. It's just ScreenBlast now, peoples.
What? Oh, ScreenBlast, yeah. Again, like, it exists, but if you see it titled ScreenBlast, it's just going to be uploaded it'll be uploaded sort of in the ScreenBlast, section. So, it won't be so far on its own brand, basically. Alright, guys. Appreciate you for watching.
Logging out, everybody!